Hello everyone. Tonight we shall step together into the frozen twilight. After the last ray of sunlight sinks behind the stone ridge, each breath condenses into mist. The air is bone-chillingly cold, as if it could pierce your very soul. The ground beneath our feet creaks, like shattered glass. The outside world shows no mercy. This is the harshest winter. All creatures struggle to survive the cold night. Truly, if cast you unprepared, you may not last till dawn's first light. So before you relax, take a moment to like and subscribe, and tell me where you are in the comments. How deep into the night are we now? Now dim the lights. Let us dive together into the cave world, where warmth, sleep, and survival intertwine the ancestral code of existence. You trudge forward. Snow clings to your ankles. The horizon fades into slate-gray shadows. Far on the horizon, the sun has expended its last warmth, leaving only a pale evening glow. The cold wind lashes your cheeks like a whip, roaring without mercy. Every cell in your body craves shelter. Just ahead, the dark entrance to the cave comes into view, a hollow carved by time and weather. Yet it feels like hope itself. You know this truth well. Step inside, and the world's rules shift. Here, the air hangs still. The storm's roar fades. Night promises rest, not exposure. Crossing the threshold brings surprise. The howling wind vanishes instantly. Silence descends like a curtain. You smell the mineral scent seeping from damp rocks, and the faint must of earth rising from the depths. The chill remains, but has softened, grown gentler, as if the rocks embrace the air in a warm embrace. In fact, geologists have discovered cave temperatures are more stable than those on the surface, often hovering near the region's annual average, meaning even in the harshest winter, the cave's temperature fluctuations pale beside the blizzards outside. Such a stable environment was a lifeline for ancient humans seeking shelter and true rest. Your eyes gradually adjust to the darkness, distinguishing the uneven rock walls, stalagmites jutting like ribs, and the deep shadows spreading across the recesses. Your boots press against solid ground, smooth and even in some areas, strewn with pebbles in others. Your fingertips lightly touch the rock surface, cool and slightly slippery, as if polished smooth by time long before countless hands touched it. You can almost sense their presence. People who once huddled here, embracing children, stacking hunted meat, stacked firewood. Imagine them entering the cave alongside you, whispering in languages long lost. Archaeologists often note how such natural shelters became preferred winter refuges. Coal ash layers high on the cave ceiling attest to fires burning season after season. Yet historians still debate, did tribes overwinter here, or merely used it as a temporary resting place? Some infer long-term settlement, based on thick ash deposits, accumulated bones and tools, while other scholars believe the people migrated regularly, never lingering long in one place for fear of exhausting local resources. Regardless of the scenario, you can imagine either a clan using this cave as their winter nest, or travelers resting here briefly, grateful for mere nights of warmth, curled on the cave's rock ledge, listening to the faint whistling air at the entrance. You'll notice how sound transforms here. Outside, winds howl furiously. Inside, even breaths echo loudly, reverberating between the rock walls. The cave's acoustics also fascinated ancient humans, though their significance remains incompletely understood. Some scholars speculate that echoing chambers once inspired ritualistic chanting or drum beats. But for you now, this sound means only your heartbeat gradually calming after trekking across the snowfields. That powerful pulsing reassures you that you are safe, at least for tonight. Now imagine the faint orange glow emerging in the cave's center, flames flickering, wood crackling, smoke curling upward, warmth spreading unevenly, first touching your calves, then gently brushing your cheeks. The air thick with a scent of charred resin, pungent yet reassuring. The campfire's purpose extends far beyond warmth. It marks the boundary between life and death, allowing you to stretch your limbs, sigh softly, sink into dreams without fear of freezing. It is also the most primal clock in an age without modern time-keeping tools. The firelight divides day from night. Fierce flames accompany twilight conversations. Dying embers signal the hour for sleep. But before lying down, you will always consider the ground beneath you. Hard as iron the stones, cold seeping to the bone. So they spread reindeer or bear hides, layered with straw or dried moss. These rudimentary mattresses proved surprisingly comfortable. Modern experimental archaeologists even recreated replicas, discovering pine needles mixed into moss repelled insects and released a fresh scent. Interestingly, evidence suggests Neanderthals sprinkled ashes into bedding as a natural insecticide. This primitive yet ingenious method combats lice and fleas. As you shift your weight onto the makeshift bedding, the difference becomes immediately apparent. The stone slab no longer presses icy against your spine. Instead, you sink into a nest softer than anticipated. The hearth crackles and sparks. Smoke curls and drifts. You sense the presence of kind around you. Tribesfolk gather close, whispering while hands busily attend to tasks. A child coughs softly. Someone hums low. The group curls into a cocoon minus-like cluster. The circle of life defends against the void outside. In this flickering light at the edge of shadow, the world seems so small and whole. The blizzard cannot reach you. The wolves prowl but cannot enter. So your breath deepens and slows, preparing to shed the burdens of the day. The cave becomes a cocoon. Your eyelids glow heavy. The warmth of the hearth mingles with the insulating rock walls, enveloping you gently like a second skin. The blizzard still rages outside, but tonight for you, sleep will be more secure than sleeping beneath the open sky. The damp scent of stone lingers around you, soft yet persistent, clinging to your nostrils like a hazy memory. This odor is neither pleasant nor foul, somewhere in between, carrying the sediment of ancient times. You inhale deeply. It evokes the fragrance of earth after rain, the untouched scent of a basement, traces of minerals seeping slowly down the walls. This scent is heavy and settling, as if the cave itself is drawing you into its embrace. You lie still for a moment, suddenly realizing this is the very scent your ancestors knew, the taste of safety, when winter's bite tore at the outside world. Close your eyes. When you resolve to stay within the cave, you can feel how it quietly transforms. Outside, the wind howls like a blade. Yet here, the air hangs still. The chill remains, but steady and gentle. More like an eternal cool embrace than a bone-piercing sting. Modern science explains this phenomenon through physics. Rock slowly absorbs and releases heat, thus regulating extreme temperatures. For prehistoric families, this meant fewer physiological shocks, fewer nighttime cold surges, subtle details, yet vital to survival. You shift your body slightly and press your palm against the rock floor. A damp sensation washes over you, moisture seeping here, condensing into fine droplets that shimmer like pearls on the rough stone. In the dim light of the campfire, they catch and shift, as if winking at you. This moisture is no mere ornament. It signals water nearby dripping from stalactites, or pooling in shallow depressions. Imagine this convenient sipping sweet water without long journeys. No need to search for streams in dark forests, nor venture where beasts slur. Yet historians still debate, did this dampness become a burden? Some argued damp rocks overcooled the body, exacerbating ailments like arthritis or coughs. Others counter that beds of fir, branches and ashes, skillfully arranged, warded off the chill. When you curled up upon the pelts, the dampness ceased to be a threat. Instead, it became as natural as background music. When archaeologists reconstruct ancient life scenes in caves, they often make remarkable discoveries. Cave odors cling to clothing for days. It is the potent scent of minerals, ashes, and dampness intertwined, a constant backdrop for early humans, awake or asleep. Children imprinted it deep into their memories from infancy. As profound as modern people's attachment to the scent of home minus cooked meals or a familiar blanket. Now, as you curl up in the darkness, this scent strangely brings comfort. even carrying a hypnotic magic that pulls you deeper into hazy oblivion. From the depths, faint dripping sounds reach your ears, drip, drip, drip. Each drop echoes in the silence, as if the cave itself were whispering. Some anthropologists believe these natural sounds influenced prehistoric humans' sleep rhythms. In an age without clocks or electricity, bodies relied on rhythms like dripping water, cracking campfires, and howling winds to drift off. Together they wove a natural lullaby. Though historians still debate whether humans experienced fragmented sleep, awakening mid-Linus night before drifting back, evidence suggests these very natural cues dictated when and how deeply people slept. You inhale again. The air shifts abruptly. Smoke mingles with dampness, transforming into the unique scent of charcoal and rock. It stings your throat slightly, but your body gradually adjusts. Caves play a peculiar trick with smoke, unlike outdoors. It doesn't dissipate quickly. It lingers and swirls, growing denser, staining the ceiling ink-black. Archaeologists often see these soot marks as fingerprints of long-term habitation, an epic written in ashes. Yet smoke brings troubles to irritating eyes, lungs, and sleep. But the human body adapts. You might feel a sting, yet understand that for ancient people, smoke-filled air symbolized warmth and community. The itch in your throat was a price worth paying. The air wasn't entirely stagnant. Even as smoke drifted upward, a faint current circulated. At the cave entrance, chilly winds still poured in, where it mingles with the warmth from the hearth. This peculiar blend of currents brushes your skin, cool yet invigorating. You pull your animal hide tighter around your shoulders, and shiver slightly. But this contrast feels oddly pleasant after all, when the air turns cool, and bedding traps walls around your body. Sleep often comes most easily. Modern sleep science confirms this. Humans rest best in slightly cool environments, rather than stifling heat. Perhaps our ancestors instinctively understood this principle long ago, arranging the campfire so the cave wouldn't overheat, yet maintain just the right coolness for rest. You lie on your side, eyes half-open, watching the dancing shadows on the wall. The uneven rock surface sketches shapes, sometimes resembling a bison's head, or the curve of a human face. These contours would not have escaped the notice of ancient humans either. They might have whispered tales linking the shadows to myths. Imagine a child pointing at the wall, claiming to see a bear, and the others weaving a legend of a tale drifting in the night. The cave ceased to be merely a shelter. It became a theater, awaiting the descent of dreams, where flowing silhouettes would merge into your slumber. But now, the damp breath of stone still tugs at your spirit, wrapping your senses like a blanket, heavy yet reassuring. Consider how different this is from sleeping under the open sky, where each gust brings new scent, spine resin, damp hides, decaying leaves. While within the cave, the air remains constant. Constancy is solace. It tells your mind you are in the same place, the same shelter. Nothing has changed. This familiarity breeds deeper trust. It becomes the foundation of rest. Mainstream records remind us caves were not humanity's common dwelling choice. Many tribes built huts or shelters even in winter. Yet caves possess a unique constancy of errant scent. That lingering mineral scent signifies continuity, night after night, even spanning generations. Historians speculate. Families returning year after year to the same cave, perhaps like possessing a cyclical winter home, granted them a sense of identity. Some scholars further theorize caves became ancestral sanctuaries, bearing memories and rituals. When the scent fills your lungs, you sense this possibility. It feels almost sacred, as if ancestors to once drew deep breaths here, then expanded their chests. The body slowly responds to these signals. Muscles relax, breathing steadies. The rock's scent may not be sweet, yet it signals safety. You rest your head on a wrinkled pelt, cheek pressed against rough softness. Companions settle quietly nearby, movements subtle and deliberate. Eye soft cough here, a few shifts there, until all fades into stillness. Only the steady rhythm of breaths remains in the cave, a chorus of repose. Each adds a note to the lullaby. You float within it, bearing on the breath woven of rock, smoke, and warmth, before sleep deepens. One final thought crosses your mind. Modern cave explorers claim spending hours in caves yields more vivid dreams, attributed to air composition, darkness, or acoustic effects. Could it be that your ancestors too experienced more vivid dreams here? Their tales warm or brilliant? Was it the environment itself that sparked their imagination? Historians still offer no definitive answer. They continue debating whether cave life ignited the imagination or dulled it. But as your eyelids grow heavy, you lean toward believing the former. For the cave is not empty water murmurs its chant. Wind whispers its tale. Damp rock perfumes the air. It seems alive. Within this palpable presence, your consciousness half-minus slips into sleep. You pull your fur cloak tighter, burrow deeper into your bedding. Let the stone's scent permeate every sense. Suspended calmly and still within this cave womb, you surrender to the night, curling toward the cave's center, watching sparks leap from flint to tinder. The flame transforms from fragile embers into roaring life. Your hands numb with cold, joints stiff, yet you stubbornly strike again and again, determined to coax warmth from the stone. Finally, the tinder smolders, wispy smoke rises. Then, as if by magic, the first flame is born. It leaps with restless energy, eager and unsettled, until you add twigs and resin. Soon a steady flame licks away the darkness. Most archaeological evidence suggests mastering fire was a pivotal turning point in human development. In the harsh winter, nothing compares to fire. It provides warmth for the body and wards off predators. It even brings psychological calm to restless nights. Without it, even 1,000 frozen caves could not withstand winter's onslaught. Fire is not merely about survival. It is a symbol of transformation. It reshaped sleep patterns, allowing people to rest undisturbed, free from the constant shivering and fear of frostbite. The scent of burning wood fills your senses sharp, sweet, and smoky. Within the cave, an air of both comfort and danger lingers. The cave ceiling gradually dims. Faint traces of soot solidify like shadows, persisting for centuries. Archaeologists excavating the cave today can still trace these black marks. They stand as testament to the long nights you now imagine. These traces speak of continuity. Countless generations gathered around similar hearths, listening to the same crackling sounds, gazing at the same shifting flames. A peculiar discovery: ancient hearths often contained wood ash mixed with bone fragments. Scientists speculate that when wood was scarce, bone fragments served as supplementary fuel, kindling fiercer, longer burning flames. Imagine the pungent, acrid scent of burning bone marrow filling the cave chamber when survival outweighed refinement. This odor, though foul, became indispensable. A peculiar thought, isn't it? The campfire lit with yesterday's feast remnants, sustaining life as you drifted into slumber. As you reach your hands toward the light, warmth seeps slowly into your fingertips, dispelling aches, spreading comfort to your chest. Breaths deepening and steadying. How wondrous the human response to fire even today. Researchers still find gazing at flames lowers heart rate, eases anxiety. You feel that ancient relaxation quietly spreading. Like ancestors leaning against cave walls, eyes half-minus closed, lulled by the gentle rhythm of flickering light. Of course, fire was not without risk. Drafts from the cave entrance often swept sparks toward furs, nearly igniting. Children were warned to speak softly and play far from the fire. Adults watched the embers warily, knowing a single uncontrolled spark could destroy all safety. Scholars still debate how ancient humans managed these risks. Some believe carefully designed stone-ring hearths or pit fires controlled the flames. Others argue the fire was more destructive, demanding constant vigilance. You might lean toward the latter view even when relaxed. You sense that tension lingering, one ever alert to the crackling that signals danger. Yet fire's benefits far outweigh its risks. It not only warms the body, but extends the daylight. Without its glow, twilight swallows all in darkness. With fire's presence, time stretches out. People could sit quietly, converse, mend tools, and share stories, preparing for deeper sleep. The flame reshaped time itself, creating twilight, a transitional zone between day and night, allowing the mind to gradually settle. This transition is vital for rest. Much like modern bedtime rituals, the cave comes alive by the fire's glow, transforming into a world of vibrant colors. Shadows dance and sway, outlining animal forms on stone walls. In an instant, galloping horses appear. The next moment, a crouching bear. These silhouettes blend with memory and imagination, merging into dreams before the eyes close. Some anthropologists suggest that flickering flames may have sparked the first artistic sparks, those creations carved from shadowed answers. Whether true or not, you can feel the fire guiding thoughts towards softer, stranger paths. And so it is that the paths to dreamland are marked by the crackling of resin, abrupt yet rhythmic. Occasionally, smoke hangs low, stinging the eyes until they ache. As you wipe your lashes, that sting reminds you how fragile comfort truly is. Yet even this discomfort holds hidden solace. Smoke drives away flying insects. Ashes spread on bedding repel pests. The campfire guards peace in multiple senses. Modern anthropological studies indicate sleeping near smoke reduces parasite infection rates and ultimately benefits family health. So when you cough into your sleeve, know this irritation holds hidden benefits. Now a blizzard rages outside the window. Wolves prowl, sniffing the roasted meat scraps tossed into the flames. Yet none dare cross the threshold. The barrier of firelight forms an invisible wall. You feel reassured. Even a touch smug, those predators capable of tearing you apart now hesitate at the fire's edge. Imagine without this barrier, how agonizing sleep would be, tossing and turning, wrapped in anxiety. No peace all night long. Yet now you can stretch out, let out a soft sigh, and let the flames carry you into dreams. Whether firelight truly alters circadian rhythms remains a subject of ongoing academic debate. Do people sleep longer and more soundly, or do they still wake in the dead of night as in pre-industrial times? The evidence remains unclear. Modern experiments with volunteers around campfires suggest people enter segmented sleep, awakening at midnight before drifting back to sleep an hour later. Other studies insist flames foster deeper, continuous rest. The answer may remain unknown, but lying here now, you can truly feel how the flames reshape your sense of time. They bend the night into a gentler, less absolute form. Companions sit around the hearth. Some curl up in furs close to the fire. Others lean against the wall. You notice every face turned inward, gazing at the flames, as if the fire itself were a companion. This instinct endures. So often do we gather around campfires, televisions, or glowing screens. The circle remains unchanged. The light's pull is as eternal as ever. The flame forever anchors our repose. You close your eyes, following the rhythm of the firelight, now fierce, at times serene, at times swelling, at times contracting. Your breath unconsciously synchronizes with its rise and fall, forming a subconscious resonance. The cave fills with golden pulsations, a warm heartbeat, fragile yet eternal, so small it might vanish with the wind, yet ancient enough to carry humanity's journey through millennia. Now as the flame traces your skin, and smoke moistens your hair, you finally understand why ancient people revered fire as a spirit alive and watching. For them, fire was not merely a source of heat, but a companion, guardian, and teacher. Perhaps they whispered thanks before deep sleep, tossing food scraps into the flames, as if hosting honored guests. Imagine those murmured rituals mingling with crackling wood, fading into silence as eyelids droop. Now you lie down, even turning away. Its lingering warmth persists. Behind you, the campfire burns on, steadfast and loyal. Its glow softens the cave's dampness. Its scent mingles with mineral air. Its presence assures you this night is safe enough for dreams. Without it, The cave would suffocate you with it by your side. You sink into tranquility. Resin hisses in the flames. The final lullaby. Eyelids close completely. The last thought before drifting into dreams is simple gratitude for the flame, for the raw, for the gift of winter nights, spent in peaceful slumber once more. You lower your body onto the cave floor, where lingering warmth rests beneath a soft bedding layer. The cave floor is naturally hardened, unforgiving, uneven and jagged, sometimes slippery, but skilled hands have softened it with layers of padding. Ides, straw, dried moss, and branches pieced together form a makeshift mattress. You stretch out and sink into it, grateful that someone foresaw the need, gathering nature's meager comforts. Without these layers, sleep starved and frozen would be plagued by intermittent shivers and aching bones. Researchers widely agree that bedding materials were a crucial innovation for early humans. Archaeological excavations in South Africa, France, and elsewhere reveal compacted layers of plant debris, ashes, and animal hides, clear evidence of deliberately constructed sleeping platforms. These were not haphazard piles, but meticulously arranged to block cold, repel pests, and shield against damp rocks. Essentially, your ancestors created the world's earliest beds. Their ingenuity astonishing. Your fingertips brush the fur beneath you. Coarse and thick, it still carries the musk scent of its original animal. Perhaps from reindeer whose hides are famed for warmth, the cave bears whose hunt was fraught with peril and glory. This scent is wild and primal, yet it brings comfort. Wrapped in fur, even in moments of rest, you feel intimately connected to the lives sustaining you. They remind you sleep and survival are stitched together by the same thread, those beasts that sustained your clan. Among the peculiar traces found in the cave, littered remains of bedding dusted with ash. The ash seems not waste, but a natural insecticide repelling lice, fleas, and other pests that make nights unbearable. Imagine sprinkling fine grey powder over the mattress, not for aesthetics, but to ward off those biting, microscopic intruders. Such unexpected yet practical details reveal that comfort often springs from urgent necessity. Tonight, as you sink deep into the bedding, you can almost feel that thin layer of osseous island guardian warding off invisible threats. Firelight illuminates the spread bedding, soft furs piled in undulating patterns, straw glimmering faintly. You notice the layered forms of these materials, resembling primitive architectural structures. Some archaeologists believe this layered structure reveals remarkable planning capabilities. They speculate family members returned nightly to the same dwelling, rebuilding and maintaining their nest, even gradually refining it. Other scholars contend these beds served only as temporary shelters, occupied for a few nights before moving on. Disagreement persists regarding the permanence of these arrangements. Yet one thing is undeniable: comfort is paramount. Even in the harshest winter, people sought far more than mere survival. They craved restorative rest. Imagine lying on bare rock. The thought alone sends a chill down the spine. Stone mercilessly drains body heat, leaving muscles cold and stiff, joints numb. But when fur is spread beneath, the cold is blocked, replaced by warmth radiating from the body itself. Trapped and reflected by the hides, straw adds resilience, springing lightly under weight, lifting the body just above damp ground. Moss lends softness, its subtle pine resin mingling with smoky notes, layers upon layers from a cradle, shielding against winter's bite. Close your eyes and listen. The rush mat rustles softly as the one beside you shifts. This gentle sound miraculously soothes the soul. Like the rustling of summer's withered grass, the mattress comes alive through touch and sound, becoming part of the cave's lullaby. Even as children squirm, and adults stretch weary limbs, the nest still embraces all, absorbing every movement into its embrace. This mattress belongs to the collective, not the individual. When sleeping in the great nest, no one monopolizes the mattress. Intimate closeness binds everyone tightly together. Modern experiments reveal a peculiar phenomenon: such bedding materials can actually improve air quality. When straw and herbs smolder or decompose, The released compounds purify bacteria in the air. In enclosed caves, this may reduce disease transmission. Consider moss not only softens the bed, but also purifies the sleeping space. Tonight, as your cheek presses against the fur, that faintly pungent scent in the air almost makes you believe this is the elixir of healing. You gently turn, pressing your body toward another warmth. Collective sleep is not a choice, but a way of survival. Shared bedding means shared body heat, each form contributing to this life-sustaining current of warmth. Hides layered over overlapping bodies, encasing the crowd in a cocoon, transforming scattered humans into a vast, breathing organism, each exhalation softening the air, each heartbeat merging into the rhythm. In this moment, you truly feel your body no longer isolated, but integrated into a greater whole. Experts still debate, does such intimate sleep nurture deep affection, or breed constant tension? Some argue it fosters bonds, trust, and even synchronized sleep. Others point to arguments, discomfort, and lack of privacy disrupting nightly rest. As you listen to the faint breathing and snoring around you, you realize both perspectives hold truth. Perhaps some nights warmth outweighs irritation. Some nights elbows piercing ribs shatter composure. But now, as chill seeps in from outside and firelight flickers within, you feel intimacy as solace. Your palm brushes straw once more, and you realize how close humans stand to the earth, separated only by thin plant fibers, a few layers of hides, from the hard rock below. Yet this small innovation holds profound meaning. Today, such simple inventions are easily overlooked, but bedding's transformation of human rest is no less revolutionary than the discovery of fire. It allows the body to recover more fully, to ward off disease, to gather strength for the next hunt. This is no luxury, but a necessity of survival disguised as comfort. Imagine children curled in their parents' arms, fur draped over tender heads. Their exhaled breath glides like small boats across water, gentle and steady. A mother hums softly, not a lullaby, but a soothing murmur. The bed absorbs it all, both a stage for human warmth and a necessity for survival. You suddenly realize, sleep here isn't just about sustaining life. It nourishes the soul, ensuring that even in the frozen abyss, moments of tranquility persist. Scholars note, intimate contact with animal hides and moss also means blending scents. Each night, the scents of animals, plants, and smoke seep into skin and hair. It may sound uncomfortable, yet these odors may have become part of identity, the very scent of family and tribe. For those children, the smell of fur was not foreign, but the scent of home. Tonight, as you inhale that musky air, you feel an inexplicable comfort, as if your senses recognize some primordial memory older than memory itself. The cave sighs around you. Distant drips fall. The hearth crackles. Straw whispers softly. These are your ancestors' lullabies, woven into the bedding beneath you. You kick lightly, sighing as the animal hides wrap tighter around your body. Outside, a blizzard snarls and bites. Yet within the cave, you sleep soundly. This bedding silently fulfills its duty, blocking out cold, insects, and pain. It is plain and unadorned, yet bears the weight of innovation. As your eyelids grow heavy, you suddenly realize you lie not merely on animal hides and straw, but upon humanity's earliest true bed, the foundation of all comfort that followed. Centuries later, these primitive nests gave birth to mattresses, quilts, and pillows. But in this moment, those modern luxuries hold no meaning. What truly matters is the warmth seeping into your bones, the soft touch beneath your cheek, and the gentle certainty you will sleep soundly through the night. The campfire has settled into a steady glow, no longer roaring, no longer precarious, but murmuring like a dream. As if it too had found sleep's rhythm, you lie on your back, half-minus open eyes gazing upward, hearing it the soft sound of water dripping from some unseen stalactite deep within the cave. Drip, drip. The sound stretches through the cavern. Its echo transforms the tiniest droplet into something monumental, like a metronome keeping time in the darkness, a lullaby whispered by the stone itself, eternal and patient. Archaeological excavations repeatedly confirm prehistoric caves all bear traces of water, erosion and stalactite imprints. Many winter shelters were not natural cavities, but dwelling spaces carved by centuries of dripping water. For modern humans, this sound is soothing white noise, its steady rhythm sending sleep signals to the brain. Imagine how profound it must have been for ancient ancestors. No electric lights, no machinery roaring, no streetlight visible outside. Only the faint rhythm of droplets falling into pools. This soundscape sculpted by nature penetrated their dreams. You tilt your ear slightly and listen intently. The sounds are not uniform. Some droplets fall swiftly, with a crisp, sharp impact. Others fall slowly and smoothly, splashing with a deep, resonant sound. Each variation becomes a note in the cave's secret symphony. Children curled beneath foes may drift to sleep faster because of it. Nursing mothers might synchronize their breathing rhythms with the drips. And the old man, eyes half closed, perhaps weaves legends of spirits whispering between each fall. Speleologists, those scientists who study caves, offer a unique observation. Dripping water alters its pitch according to the size of the cavity it falls into. Shallow pools produce crisp, high-pitched tones. Deep pools resonate with low, rumbling echoes. In a sense, each night, the cave plays its own organ, requiring no hands, only time and gravity. Right now, you can almost hear it flowing between high and low notes, weaving a natural lullaby through the chambers. Scholars disagree on how ancient humans perceived these sounds. Some anthropologists believe echoes evoked unease, or even dread, making caves seem haunted by spirits. Others argue ancient people embraced these sounds, interpreting them as guardian spirits or ancestral watchful voices. Now you curl up upon the fur, eyelids half closed, feeling this sound like a soothing caress. Each droplet a mark of time, not a threat, but a reassurance. Whispering softly, the cave teems with life, yet harms you not. Your nostrils touch another layer of scent, the damp air stirred by the sound of water droplets striking rock, carrying the faintest hint of minerals. Sharp as iron, yet refreshing. This scent blends with smoke, leather, and moss, crafting the earth's unique fragrance. Remarkably, it doesn't suffocate, but anchors you firmly in the present. You recall modern sleep aids simulating rain or waterfalls, designed for insomniacs. Yet your ancestors possessed the original version here, free and endless. Some scholars believe this acoustic environment emotes deep sleep cycles. The steady rhythm of dripping water, like a lullaby, guides the body into slow heartbeats and deep, drawn-out breaths. Of course, this theory has its skeptics. Some point out that irregular dripping sounds could equally startle one awake. Yet when you imagine lying here night after night, this rhythm flows hypnotically. Thoughts gradually subside. The mind grows as ethereal as falling water. Certain ruins reveal remarkable details. Small indentations often appear on stalactites near sleeping areas, possibly marks left by people catching water with leather bags or gourds. They not only listened to the water, but also lived off it. The dripping sound could lull them to sleep, while also storing water for the next day. Practical and poetic. Two birds with one stone. As you listen tonight, imagine a gourd catching the drip. This steady gift, like the cave's heartbeat, echoes deep within the chamber, intertwining with the crackle of the fire, weaving a flame of sound warmth at your ear, water's patience at your ear. You suddenly perceive all things in perfect balance. Flame and drip, heat and coolness, light and shadow. Every sense is cherished. Every need is reflected. The cave offers not just shelter, but plays a symphony. Sleep does not slip in silently, but flows in with the harmonious melody. You shift your body gently, and notice each movement echoes in the stillness, the rustle of straw, the soft sigh of someone nearby, all swallowed by a greater resonance. The dripping becomes background noise, masking subtle disturbances, smoothing rough edges, like the hum of traffic that lulls modern souls to sleep. Yet purer, untouched by man-made machinery. This may be nature's gift, sound designed not for disruption, but for cradling. You imagine Elders once told children that dripping water carries messages from the spirit world, each drop a word, each echo a reminder, signaling ancestors still linger. In fact, scholars suggest caves themselves are seen as liminal spaces, thresholds between the world of the living and the underworld. If this is true, these water sounds take on deeper mystery. Even interpreted as otherworldly voices, they aren't always frightening. Instead, they might symbolize protection, an unseen presence guarding the sleeping family. To the rhythm of the water, your eyelids grow heavy. You need not count the drops. The drops are counting you, marking your descent into slumber. Each drip a gentle nudge downward, each echo a guiding hand drawing you deeper. You let it happen, without resistance, only trust. Before the final plunge, you recall modern experiments, volunteers sleeping for weeks in caves, no clocks, no sunlight. Many reported vivid, immersive dreams intertwined with the dripping, lively and engrossing. One volunteer even claimed to feel the cave breathing with them. Whether true or not, you deeply resonate now. The cave seems to have come alive. The dripping pulses like a heartbeat at your ear, synchronized with your chest's rise and fall. A storm howls outside the window, yet you remain utterly unaware. Wolf howls, flying snow, the chill, all swallowed by silence. Only fire and water remain. An ancient duality merges in a gentle lullaby. You curl into the bedding. Your body relaxes. Your mind softens. Let this lullaby cradle you. You may not know if this is superstition or science, comfort or coincidence. But tonight, this single drop belongs only to you. It will carry you faithfully into dreams, as it has borne countless generations before. Smoke lazily coils upward, trailing toward the cavern's ceiling. Soot trails spread like dark wings. You watch the flame's breath stretch upward, thinning as it climbs, finally condensing near the ceiling into heavy mist. It stubbornly holds its ground, escaping only through invisible cracks in the shadows. With each inhale, your lungs twitch slightly, but you've long learned to coexist. This is the price of warmth and safety. Air burns your throat. Your eyes water, yet your body survives. Most archaeologists believe soot deposits are the clearest evidence of prolonged cave habitation. When diggers tilt their lights toward the cave ceiling, those charred crusts tell their story year after year. Fires burned in the same spots. Families, seasons, generations. Layers of dust sealed within the rock. Like an archive. To untrained eyes, it's merely grime. But to experts, it's a diary written in charcoal. Proof that people endured this air though not comfortable. It was breathable enough. You cough lightly, then chuckle at the thought that when discomfort becomes familiar, it can even offer solace. The sting of smoke in your eyes is shared by everyone around you now. Ancestors, children, hunters returning from the hunt. Such collective discomfort is softened by laughter and habit. In modern society, it seems a marvel. Researchers recreating cave life in controlled environments report some volunteers expressed nostalgia for the smoke scent after leaving. They described it as the cave's distinctive imprint, a unique aroma inextricably linked to memory. Tonight, you finally understand this peculiar attachment. Archaeologists still debate how ancient people ventilated. Some believe they lit small fires at the entrance, letting air currents carry the smoke out, while others insist large furnaces were built deep within the caverns. Smoke would accumulate before being dispersed by wind. Neither explanation is entirely satisfactory. Sitting amidst the haze, you realize perhaps both are valid solutions, adapting to cave structure, weather, or survival needs. The key lies not in perfection, but in survival. Inhaling a bit of smoke is better than freezing to death outside. Yet the body adapts in ingenious ways. You notice everyone crouches low near the ground where the air is clearer. Infants lie in hollows lined with animal skins. Here the smoke has thinned. Adults huddle, never standing fully upright unless necessary. It becomes instinct, a posture born of survival. Now you simply stay closer to the earth, each breath taken with heightened caution, savoring the difference between the fresh air, near the ground, and the heavy smoke layer above. Some caves hold wondrous, poignant details, stalactites coated in soot, permanently darkened by nightly drifts of smoke. Imagine how the cave itself is slowly transformed by each exhaled flame. Pale limestone painted pitch black. This is humanity collaborating with rock. Even millennia later, these strata still bear the memory of smoke. You gaze upward, envisioning this very transformation unfolding here, even curled beneath it. Your skin still tingles with the fire's warmth, yet the smoke tempers it. A reminder never to slacken. You ponder the path to equilibrium, to fiercer flame, and the cave suffocates to fainter spark, and chill steals your rest. The line between comfort and peril is razor-thin. The clan must endure repeated trial and error, adjusting, experimenting, teaching the next generation how to guard the flame just right. Scholars still debate, are firekeepers chosen by duty, or do they take turns on watch? Either way, the smoke remains ever present, woven into every winter night. You rub your eyes, stinging from the smoke, and feel inexplicably drowsy. Some scholars speculate carbon particles or low-linus oxygen environments may influence sleep, accelerating descent into deep slumber. Though unproven, as your eyelids grow heavy, the hypothesis feels plausible, though discomforting. Smoke may be sleep's peculiar ally. Our ancestors, eyes heavy with tears, slipped into dreams sooner than those beneath clear skies. The crackling of wood persists. Each burst of flame reminds us the smoke never ceases. It winds upward like a serpent, reshaping shadows' contours, coiling into invisible patterns. You imagine the cave's ceiling scarred with mottled flames, layers woven from cold dust and dripping minerals. Over centuries, smoke became part of the geology, a fossilized imprint of nights like this. No words or symbols needed. Existence itself carved into rock through mere survival. Modern cave explorers discover a peculiar phenomenon, even in caves abandoned for millennia. The scent of ancient soot lingers. Step inside, and you still catch a faint, burnt aroma. The whisper of primeval campfires. This sensory time machine pulls you back through the ages. Tonight, as smoke curls around your hair, you suddenly realize thousands of cold winters ago, someone lay in this haze, tears welling in their eyes, lungs adapting, heartbeat gradually sinking into slumber. Children stir slightly, a few soft coughs echo, yet no panic ensues. Parents soothe with gentle pats. Whispers blend with the crackling firelight. This group has embraced the smoke as part of life, not an intruder. You realize this acceptance is wisdom, refusing futile resistance to the unchangeable, instead weaving discomfort into daily life, even transforming it into solace. Smoke means warmth, means companionship, means closing your eyes knowing you will surely wake again. Tears sting your eyes. Your vision grows hazy, yet beyond the tear-filled veil, the firelight grows softer, more ethereal, like lanterns in the mist. This scene holds its own beauty, flame and smoke intertwined, painting dreamscapes upon the cave walls. Silhouettes of bison and stallions sway within the drifting haze. Long shadows stretch through the smoke. This theater of fire and smoke must have enchanted children. Their earliest tales were written in the rising mist. Perhaps the legends of spirits in the flames began here. Or perhaps elders used it to explain the hazy visions between sleep and wakefulness. You synchronize your breath with the campfire's sigh. Inhale, cough lightly. Exhale, relax. The body has its own laws. Even as your lungs wrestle with the mist, warmth spreads through your limbs, making the sting in your eyes seem insignificant. The comfort here is not the erasure of hardship, but the art of resting peacefully despite the struggle. As you curl deeper into the blankets, the smoke above grows thicker. Yet you pay it no mind. You know it will eventually find its way out, slip through the cracks, merge with the storm. For now, you remain immersed in its embrace. Closing your eyes, you imagine that charred ceiling spanning centuries, bearing the memory of every flame, every household, every night woven with survival and sleep. With this thought, you let the smoke rock you to sleep. The campfire breathes evenly. Its faint glow softens the rugged rock walls. Your body rests upon the bedding. Yet warmth comes not only from the flames. You sense the intimate bodies around you, loved ones pressed close together, shoulders touching, breaths mingling in the hazy white mist. The animal hides cover not just one body, but many bodies, enveloping all together. This blanket of both fur and flesh, a symbiotic cocoon woven by necessity. Archaeological evidence strongly suggests collective sleeping was the norm in prehistoric caves. Bones, hearths, and bedding layers often found closely intertwined, as if the entire clan slept encircled. This pattern was not merely practical. It reflected a survival strategy. When bodies shared warmth, energy loss slowed. Each person became a neighbor's stove. In the depths of winter, this advantage was immense. It meant the difference between hunting again the next day or never waking at all. You instantly feel warmth, not just physical, but a solace for the soul. A hand brushes your wrist without intent, not deliberate, merely gravity drawing limbs together. You don't pull away. Instead, you let this touch remind you you are not alone. The cold outside penetrates your entire body the moment you enter the cave. You have become part of a greater warmth, the human hearth. One of anthropology's most intriguing discoveries is that synchronized sleep rhythms may have emerged from such collective sleeping arrangements. When one trembles lightly, the others adjust in unison, returning to collective stillness. Modern research indicates, in camping environments, without artificial light, people's sleep cycles often unnaturally synchronize. Imagine this scene: over a dozen souls drift into slumber nearly simultaneously. Breaths gradually soften. The entire group pulsates like a single organism. The cave itself must resemble a slumbering beast. Echoing this very rhythm, scholars still debate: did collective sleep strengthen social bonds or breed constant friction? One camp argues that nocturnal intimacy fostered trust and empathy, laying the groundwork for cooperative hunting and shared survival. The other points to the tension, snoring, coughing, tossing, and loss of personal space it caused. As you shift slightly, brushing against an neighbor's shoulder, both perspectives hold merit. Perhaps there were restless nights, but against blizzards and predators, the need for unity outweighed any discomfort. In this warm den, your senses unfold. You hear the layered breathing around you, some heavy and slow, some quick and shallow. Each breath adds texture to the soundscape. Children sleep like cubs, exhaling long, clear breaths. Elders' chests vibrate with deeper rhythms. All breaths weave into an accidental symphony. Unconsciously, you adjust your own breathing, synchronizing your pulse with the group's rhythm. A modern reconstruction experiment revealed a remarkable finding: those sleeping close together had lower stress hormone levels than those sleeping alone. Listening to a neighbor's breath, feeling the faint touch of body heat, both bring a calming effect. Loneliness dissolves. To this day, some cultures preserve the tradition of communal sleeping, not merely for warmth, but for emotional solace. You keenly sense this comfort, an invisible safety net woven from intimacy. Fur sheds faint musk and smoky scents, and the scent of shared bloodlines. Your nose touches the unique human scent, salty, earthy, familiar. It is not perfume, but a mark of identity. For children, the scent of family means safety. And now, as you are squeezed into this communal cocoon, it signifies belonging. The cave may be cold as stone, but people make it home. Of course, not every night is peaceful. Imagine disputes spilling into the bedding, siblings squabbling, couples bickering, someone hogging extra space. Perhaps laughter follows, perhaps sullen silence. Academia debates endlessly whether such intimacy fuels conflict or forges resilience. Perhaps both. You can almost hear the lingering echoes of complaints or chuckles, ultimately dissolving into snores. When exhaustion descends, even discord becomes insignificant. You shift again, feeling the leather stretch taut between multiple bodies. Unlike modern blankets tailored for individuals here, the covering belongs to all. If one tugs lightly, the others adjust accordingly. The fabric of rest is truly shared, demanding unconscious cooperation. This subtle, profound lesson, shapes human culture. To sleep soundly, you must sacrifice some comfort for the group. Tonight you yield a corner of leather, in exchange for another's warmth guarding your spine. The campfire crackles, sparks fly skyward, heads turn instinctively. No one rises. The danger is negligible. Trust holds the group together. You ponder how these instinctive vigilance grants us, and whispers build safety. Someone is always close at hand, ready to wake you. In such intimacy, you are never truly unguarded. Outside, predators may prowl, but human warmth is both armor and solace. You close your eyes, allowing yourself to sink deeper into this mass of human bodies. Every movement absorbed by the collective. Supporting your weight is not just the mattress, but trust. The warmth seeping into your bones is not merely physical. It is social, emotional, blood minus bound. You finally understand why tales of kinship endure across millennia. In the harshest winter, family is not just a vital presence, but the only true shield against death. A peculiar, yet profound detail emerges from modern anthropological studies, those sharing sleeping quarters recall dreams more frequently than solitary sleepers. Some attribute this to minor disturbances during light sleep phases rousing them. If this principle applied to our ancestors, then communal living not only safeguarded their bodies, but also nourished their dreams. Perhaps those dreams became shared tales told by the next day's campfire, weaving the fabric of a collective mythology. You smile softly, suddenly realizing that here, even dreams belong to the collective treasury. The storm rages outside the window, unseen and unheard. Tonight its power cannot shake you in the slightest. Now you are wrapped in warmth, lifted by breath, lulled to sleep by the gentle touch of existence. Let these sensations flow through your body, a light touch of another's elbow, the synchronized rhythm of lungs, the distant, faint cough. These are not disturbances, but proof you are not alone, but part of this circle of life, persisting in the frozen world. Your body gradually relaxes, muscles unwind, heartbeat slows. You sink not only into sleep, but into the collective slumber of the group. Eyelids grow heavy and droop. Warmth and sound merge into one endless thread. Outside the cave, wolves pace. Inside, you drift into dreams. Your body's warmth fades. Consciousness sinks into stillness. Half-minus closed eyes drift toward the cave entrance. Beyond the firelight, only pitch black, occasionally pierced by the silver flash of snowflakes dancing in the moonlight. The outside world teems with life, even if you cannot see it clearly. You sense it, the subtle tremor of ice spores, the low, hungry whine in the wind. The wolves, perhaps lynxes too, even giant bears, tossing and turning in the depths of winter. Archaeologists widely agree, caves were chosen as shelters not only for their insulation, but for their defensive advantage. Narrow stone entrances like fortresses, requiring guarding of a single entrance. When predators prowled in the darkness, the cave became a shield. Yet this sense of security always carried vigilance. Family might huddle in warmth, but ears remained pressed to the outside. Every distant howl was both warning and reassurance. Wolves were indeed nearby, but they had not breached the cave. You lie still listening. The wind carries sounds unevenly, distorting the echoes, so they seem closer or farther than they truly are. A wolf's howl tears through the night sky. A low growl gradually swells into a high, lonely shriek. Chill creeps up your spine, even if the pack cannot reach them. Somewhere, a child stirs at the sound, curling tighter beneath the animal hide. The cave walls amplify the outside noise, as if reminding them danger lurks beyond the rock walls. An ethnographer recorded this peculiar phenomenon, even in modern times. Many hunter-gatherer groups still create bedtime stories about predators. These tales serve both as warnings and solace, aiming to teach children caution, while soothing their fears. You almost hear the elder whisper now, "Stay close to me." The wolves won't cross the fire. It's like a ritualized lullaby, where fear transforms into security within the story. Regarding whether early humans shared caves with dangerous animals, Scholars offer differing interpretations. Some evidence suggests bears may have occupied specific shelters before or after humans entered caves, potentially sparking conflict. Other scholars suggest humans deliberately avoided caves showing animal traces. Yet exposed skulls deliberately arranged in rock niches hint at a relationship, more complex than avoidance, perhaps reverence, perhaps fear, perhaps both. As you peer into the cave entrance, you still cannot tell if those amber eyes suddenly appeared. Would you welcome them gladly or retreat in terror? A sudden gust sweeps snow into the cave entrance. Snowflakes shimmer in the firelight. The chill makes your body tense, but no beast follows. You breathe a slight sigh of relief, yet still sense the unknown lurking outside. You imagine wolves pacing uncircling, paw prints flattening the snow, noses sniffing the scent of meat and smoke. They wait silently, cunning and patient, biding their time, but the barrier of stone walls and firelight remains impenetrable. Zoologists once noted a peculiar observation, even in dire straits. Wolves often avoid the glow of fire. Generations of caution make them hesitate before the blazing boundary. For your ancestors, this was a deadly advantage. The flames brought not only warmth, but also drew a line few predators dared cross. Tonight, as the tongues of fire flickered at the entrance, you finally understood how that light became an invisible wall, a silent prohibition. Stay away from this place. The long night still raged on, and you couldn't help but wonder what it felt like to sleep lightly, even amidst the wealth of kin. Your ears remain ever alert to change. Vigilance never fully eases. Perhaps that is why people take turns guarding the hearth. For the true fear is not the cold, but waking to find shadows, silently stepping in. Scholars still debate, is the night watch an institutional duty, or the instinctive insomnia of certain members of the group. Right now, you can almost see that person, half minus open eyes, staring at the cave entrance, while others sink deeper into slumber. The campfire crackles, suddenly bursting with light, projecting shadows that dance across the stone walls like intruders. You blink and realize it's just an illusion. Yet illusions hold their own magic here. How many half-minus awake souls mistake the flickering shadows for beasts, only to breathe a sigh of relief when they vanish. Perhaps it is these moments that breed myths, the gatekeeper a trickster pacing the entrance, ever vigilant over the slumbering. You pull the animal hide tighter around you, yet your ears remain strained, listening for sounds beyond the storm's roar. You swear you hear claws crunching through ice. Perhaps it's merely a branch snapping beneath the frost. Perhaps not. This uncertainty haunts cave life night after night. Like a wager with nature, you sleep anyway, because sleep is not optional. It is a wager of faith, believing the rock and the fire will hold the peace. The claw marks found in some European cave sites are poignant shallow scratches from human tool minus making. Deeper gouges, far older traces left by cave bears or giant cats long before humans settled here. Imagine lying in the darkness, your gaze drawn to those scars, wondering what fierce beasts once prowled these chambers. These marks reveal the relative nature of safety in a world teeming with competitors. The cave is but a borrowed shelter, yet even amid constant peril, you remain grateful. Outside, predators rule the night. Inside, you sleep undisturbed. You surrender to sleep, knowing the rock holds you close. The fire warns of intruders. Loved ones breathe beside you. Beyond the entrance, hungry eyes may lurk, but tonight, those eyes cannot reach you. Wolves will circle. Snow will fall. The cold wind will lash its icy teeth. But now, in this stone-built nest, you are wrapped in warmth, surrounded by trust, sheltered by this fragile yet resilient gift of rest. You allow yourself to close your eyes, knowing danger will wait until dawn. And by then, you will be ready. The campfire fades, flickering like a weary heart. The cave is steeped in shadows, those shadows stretching and swaying across the rock walls. You lie on your back, eyelids heavy, gradually noticing those dancing shadows transforming into independent tails. The bison carved into the rock wall seems to awaken, head bowed, as if knowing. the jagged cracks in the rock morph into a hunter's spear. Even the curve of the vaulted ceiling resembles the undulating peaks of mountains. You understand, this is not stillness, but a flowing theater, a ceaseless drama of light and stone. Excavations at Paleolithic sites reveal traces of controlled fire near the painted areas, suggesting early artists may have understood how to use shifting light and shadow to enrich their work. Researchers widely agree. It is shadow that gives art its dynamism, infusing static forms with life. When a child lies upon the mattress, they see not merely ochre lines, but galloping herds, stalking predators, leaping spirits. Sleep does not descend in silence, but through immersion in this visual illusion. You blinked slowly, enraptured. Shadows lengthen and shorten, rippling and undulating. Consciousness, against its sorcery, weaving light and shadows randomness into coherent scenes. Galloping steeds, birds spreading their wings. This may be humanity's earliest cinema before stories were etched in writing. Fire had already been weaving legends. This unintended masterpiece captivates subtly. You suddenly grasp how imagination and sleep merge within this space. Another marvelous discovery in the cave excavation: bones coated in coal dust. Their sharp ends perhaps once serving as primitive lamps. Researchers speculate these bone tubes were filled with oil. When lit, they projected longer, lasting, steadier light and shadow, extending more enduring light and shadow dramas across the cave walls, weaving a slow, profound dance of light. Imagine yourself lying here, lids slowly lowering, gazing at shadows nourished by lamplight like migratory flocks crossing the vaulted sky. Even dreams might begin with illusions lingering in the night. Whether these silhouettes gave birth to myths, or merely soothed restless souls, scholars remain divided. Some argue these shadows were ritualistic souls of animals reborn through art, guiding hunters in their dreams. Others maintain their purpose is pure and merely a pastime to soothe children and to compromise sleep anxieties. Neither explanation is conclusive. Yet as you watch the shadows stretch and sway, you realize the truth no longer matters. Whether sacred or mundane, the outcome remains the same. Quietly, intoxicated, tenderly surrendering to sleep, eyes wander along jagged rock walls. Cracks and protrusions breed endless possibilities. Faces, beasts, mountains. A child whispers softly, pointing at a shadow resembling a bear. An elder chuckles, weaving tales of giant spirits watching from above. Before the story unfolds, the rhythm of breath takes over consciousness. Yet impressions linger long. The cave itself has begun to speak. Its voice is a chorus of shadows. This is an unusual discovery in experimental archaeology. When modern people find themselves in a cave lit by firelight, they often report the same experience even knowing it's an illusion. They still feel shadows shifting into recognizable shapes. Our brains crave patterns, seeking meaning in randomness. For ancestors without scientific explanations, those patterns might truly have been illusions. Sleep must have descended with awe, as if the world leaned close to whisper before your eyes closed. Light and shadow rippled across your skin, outlining you in tiger stripes of light and dark. You watched your hands transform into claws, your contours stretching into the shape of a beast. Children must have played with these shapes, tracing birds, wolves, or spirits with their fingers on the rock walls. In these games, tranquility quietly took root. Fear of darkness melts into laughter, then sinks into slumber. You can almost hear the laughter echoing through the cavern, only to be swallowed by a wave of yawns. Scholars still debate whether these nighttime shadow plays deliberate or accidental. Did humans kindle fire to breathe life into art? Or was it an unexpected gift of survival? Experts remain undecided, but you know the truth lies between. Fire is necessity. Art is expression. Their fusion imbues the night with magic. No deliberate planning needed. Shadows dance of their own accord. People embrace this miracle. The campfire crackles anew. Flames surge suddenly. Shadows leap wildly, chaotic and dazzling. You gasp, holding your breath, then chuckle at your own reaction. How many times did your ancestors awaken thus? Heart racing, only to realize it was but a trick of light and rock? Perhaps these moments even tempered the soul, blending vigilance with imagination, teaching humanity to seek balance between fear and wonder. For in body heat gradually warmed the cave, yet shadows still stir restlessly, shifting with each flicker of the flame. You begin to let them blur, no longer seeking meaning, only gazing at the flowing trails. This spectacle mesmerizes like waves or drifting clouds. Thoughts slow. The body grows heavy. The shadow play is no longer mere amusement, but a passageway to dreams, gently guiding you toward the threshold. Some scholars propose a peculiar yet compelling theory: ancient humans may have practiced guided dreaming through such rituals, gazing at the shapes of cave paintings before sleep, carrying these images into the subconscious, merging with memory and desire, dreams of bison, steeds, and hunts. Perhaps all began with the light and shadow on the cave walls. You nod slightly, easily convinced by this notion, allowing the final images to flow across your retinas before closing your eyes. The rumble of the storm outside faintly audible, but within the cave now, you are cocooned in light and shadow. The campfire bestows warmth, while shadows weave tales, building bridges to other worlds. You sigh softly. A faint smile curves your lips, letting the cave's moving to blow fade into dreams. Fiery flames retreat to glowing embers. Fervor dissipates. Shadows settle into stillness. The circle of kind gathered grows steadier, yet you notice the new objects beside your bed, tools for survival within reach. Flint blades gleam faintly. Spears lean against the wall. Heavy hammers lie quietly within grasp. Even in deep slumber, the instinct for vigilance never wanes. To drift defenseless in a world teeming with predators is unthinkable. In most archaeological sites revealing traces of prehistoric life, not only hearths and bedding remain, but clusters of tools lie scattered around sleeping areas. Researchers widely agree at night, people placed weapons nearby, not for neat storage, but for instant reach. The cave was both home and fortress. Sleep did not mean utter helplessness. Stone blades and wooden shafts, like flames and rock walls, served as guardians. Imagine curling up with a flint knife pressed against your pommet's edge, sharp enough to gut prey, hide food, or repel wolves. The cold stone against your skin, uncomfortable, yet reassuring, much like modern people locking doors or setting alarms. Your ancestors relied on these tools for security. Each weapon whispered silently, "Rest easy. I am here when danger comes." In certain European sites, the most unusual discovery was tool caches hidden in niches near bedding. They were not scattered haphazardly, but arranged with care close at hand, yet not obstructing sleep. An even more peculiar discovery: spearheads arranged in a fan pattern around the campfire formed a silent sentinel circle. Was this practical convenience or ritual observance? Scholars still debate. You can almost picture someone deliberately positioning each spear before lying down, a bedtime ritual as routine as brushing teeth today. You shift slightly within your bedding, feeling the weight of the imaginary blade close at hand. Even if beasts dared approach the fire's edge, this thought alone would keep you calm. Even if invaded by another tribe, you would not be helpless. Flint within reach, spears close at hand. These tools have long become part of your flesh, extensions of instinct, even as your thoughts drift. Of course, not all tools serve violence. The leather scraper brings comfort. The bone miner's sewing needle connects lifelines. The bone miner's crushing hammer shatters marrow. They lie close at hand, ensuring swift commencement of the next day's labor. Imagine waking before dawn. Hungry, you instinctively reach for the scraper to prepare meat. Tools by your bedside mean efficiency. A life rhythm where labor and rest blend seamlessly. Modern experimental archaeologists have made this curious and moving discovery when attempting to emulate Paleolithic living. Many reported feeling inexplicably reassured sleeping beside stone tools, even knowing they faced no predator threats in a controlled environment. The tactile presence of sharp objects still soothed their sleep. This comfort may stem from primal instincts buried deep in human memory. Tonight, you to feel this ancient reassurance. Your palm still curls unconsciously in sleep, as if gripping a blade. Whether these tools were mere utilitarian objects or held symbolic power, remains a point of contention among researchers. Some argue they were simply scattered necessities. Others contend they transcended practicality, an extension of identity, a talisman against fear. The truth likely lies somewhere in between. Knives are both tools and talismans. They are weapons and solace. Against this backdrop, sleep has never been merely a physiological need. It is a spiritual act. Only with the presence of stone guardians can sleep find its stability. Your gaze drifts to the javelin by the wall. It casts a long shadow in the firelight, making its form seem magnified. That spear seems to come alive, transformed into a sentinel on watch. Generations have gazed upon such silhouettes, trusting them no less than the campfire itself. The spear is not merely wood and stone combined, but the embodiment of survival, the antidote to hunger, a barrier against beasts, a guardian of the night. Its quiet presence beside the bed offers comfort like the lingering warmth of the fire. Archaeological discoveries in France and Spain reveal a peculiar detail. Some flint blades were deliberately blunted, their edges polished smooth as mirrors. Were these tools retired hunting relics, or perhaps child miners' safe versions, to teach them to sleep with stone without risk of injury? Interpretations differ. Yet the notion is captivating. Perhaps even ancient children practiced with tools, echoing adult habits, gently guiding them into tradition. The cave resonates with night sounds, embers crackling, water dripping, sleepers' breath rising and falling. But deeper still lies the quiet confidence bestowed by tools within reach. Your ancestors did not sleep helplessly, but kept stone and bone tools within grasp. This did not eliminate danger, but was enough to wear down fear and let peaceful sleep descend. Imagine yourself awakened by sound, the crisp snap of a branch, the low growl of a beast. In that moment, your hand already knew where to reach. Your body rises, half instinct, half draining. The state of vigilance itself is part of sleep, woven into the very posture of rest. Deep sleep means sleeping armed, letting thoughts wander while the body remains taut as a spring. Scholars debate, did this alertness condemn early humans to fragmented, shallow sleep? Some argue constant vigilance made sleep shallow, weakening restorative cycles. Others counter shared body heat, prey barriers, and tools collectively built sufficient security to support genuine deep sleep. The answer may not be universal truth, but context dependent. Some nights, as miners hunt, exhaustion weighs heavy. Others are light yet restless, ears perpetually alert to danger. Tonight, you sense yourself slipping into deeper sleep, soothed by the silent companionship of the campfire, kin, and stone. Your hand curls once more, this time relaxed, as if embracing the very essence of the tools rather than the tools themselves. You exhale slowly. The taut strings across your shoulders quietly slacken. The presence of blades and spears has faded into background noise, no longer a sharp warning of danger, but an integral part of the environment. Just as the bedding supports your body, the tools cradle your thoughts, allowing them to float freely. Outside, predators still prowl inside, shadows still shift, but now, within this warm circle, every detail is meticulously prepared. The hearth maintains its steady warmth, fur layers upon fur, family gathered, tools at the ready. The stage for slumber is set. You sink completely into it. The coals dim, the embers glow as softly as stars. Eyelids droop, breath slow. The final thought before dreams descend is safety is not the absence of threat, but the readiness to meet it even in slumber. The long night stretches longer than usual. Such is winter. Sunset comes early. Dawn comes late. Humans seem to float in an ocean of darkness. In this cave, you feel it most intensely. The campfire has dimmed to a bed of embers, barely illuminating the rock walls. The silence grows ever deeper. Your body and soul alike perceive the seasonal rhythm with equal clarity. The long night demands far more sleep than summer. Prehistoric historians generally agree that rest cycles always followed light cycles. In an age without clocks or electric lights, people migrated with the seasons. Winter nights brought prolonged slumber, perhaps punctuated by fragments of wake signals, while summer shortened rest periods, driving people outdoors for longer hunts and foraging. This seasonal rhythm shaped not only sleep patterns, but also influenced mood, energy, and survival strategies. Curled beneath animal hides, you sense the weight pressing down feels heavier than usual. In winter, the body craves stillness, slowly conserving energy to endure the harsh season. Even modern sleep research reveals people often feel more drowsy during the dark months. This is the echo of ancient rhythms. Your ancestors naturally embraced this state. They did not resist the changing seasons, allowing their bodies to sink into deeper, longer slumber, much like the earth itself entering dormancy. This astonishes scholars studying circadian rhythms. Today, some indigenous polar peoples still follow seasonal hibernation patterns, devoting extraordinary amounts of time to sleep or rest during the harshest winter months. Though not true hibernation like bears, it remains closer to nature than most modern lives. Imagine how prehistoric families adapted to this rhythm. Daylight shortened to brief periods of activity. Long nights transformed into quiet hours of restoration. Curled within a cave cocoon, you too can feel this pull. Archaeologists still debate whether prehistoric humans segmented their sleep during long nights. Later historical records show people drifted into initial sleep after dusk, awoke for an hour or two around midnight, before drifting back to sleep before dawn. Others suggest winter fatigue fostered prolonged slumber, especially when hearths and bedding offered shelter. The debate remains unresolved, yet lying here, both possibilities feel plausible. Perhaps tonight brings deep, unbroken rest. Perhaps you'll wake in the small hours, to sit by the embers, before sinking back into dreams. Whichever it may be, the long night holds enough for your rest. The cave air now heavy and damp, yet you are sheltered, fur and body preserving warmth together. The campfire emits a faint pulse, limbs sinking deeper into softness. The drip of water persists, forming steady counterpoint to your heartbeat. The storm has calmed outside, yet silence often deceives. Predators move silently. Snow muffles every sound, but the cave itself dissolves time. Now you feel only sleep deepening slowly. Some ruins hold a curious discovery. Sleeping areas often form semicircles around hearths. This layout evenly distributes warmth, allowing the awake to watch the flames at any moment. But it resembles a ritual design, like petals encircling a core, whether practical or symbolic. Its effect must be profound as you lie here, surrounded by kin, gazing upon the shared glow. It embodies unity itself. Now you rest within an imagined semicircle. The fire, like a sun in the night sky, holds center. You cannot help but ponder the dreams that emerge during long winter nights. Did hunters chase mammoths across snowfields in their sleep? Did mothers dream of verdant summers and plump berries? Did children imagine the animals painted on the walls stepping into reality, stretched out during deep, prolonged slumber, shaped by light, shadow, and sound? Anthropologists suggest myths may have sprung directly from these prolonged dreams. The boundary between night vision and waking narratives is inherently blurred, seamlessly interwoven into culture. Academia remains undecided whether prehistoric nights of perpetual darkness fostered lethargy or creativity. Some scholars argue that persistent darkness led to lethargy, dullness, and melancholy. Others contend the opposite, that long nights provided space for storytelling, artistic creation, and the settling of ideas, enriching social life. As you slumber here, both perspectives hold validity. Perhaps there were nights of stifling oppression, but equally nights when imagination soared through firelight and shadow. You shift slightly, stretching legs stiff from days squatting toil. The mattress rustles, strained hides shifting beneath you. Bodies stir around you. Someone coughs softly, another turns. Children murmur in dreams. This communal nest breathes like a great beast, constant warmth, filled with ever minor shifting sounds. Truth that life still surges in the deep night. Modern dark environment experiments reveal a fascinating phenomenon. When volunteers are placed in infinite darkness, most naturally extend their sleep to over 12 hours and experience more vivid dreams. It turns out our bodies still carry ancient commands. Long nights, when sinking into deep sleep, you can feel this command in your bones. An ancient call older than civilization, guiding you to empty mind and body completely. The half fire crackles softly, making you glance up and start lament, before settling back into silence. The light seems faint, yet it suffices. Even the embers trace a faint halo of safety, defining boundaries in boundless darkness. You know that when someone awakens, they will add wood to the fire, to reignite the flame. Even if no one stirs for hours, the embers will still keep watch, like silent stars within the cave. This knowledge relaxes you further, letting go of constant vigilance. The night has its own guardians, be it the fire, loved ones, or time itself. You sigh softly, wrapping the fur blanket tighter, your eyelids fluttering slightly. The long night envelops you, without urging, without disturbing. In this cave, time flows differently. Winter teaches you patience, teaches you submission. You let your body relearn this lesson as countless generations before, slowing your rhythm, stretching your limbs, sinking into a sleep deeper than you ever imagined. Sleep is not escape, but a way of survival. This rhythm resonates with the earth's pulse. As consciousness fades, your final thought is simple and pure. The night stretches on, and so do you. You may greet it with warmth, keep it company with trust, accompany it with dreams more enduring than storms. Embers still breathe faintly. Their pulsing red glow reminds you of the flame's presence. Another light joins this silence. Moonlight streams through the crevices in the rock ceiling, pouring down like a silver filter. Soft and faint, it drips into the cave chamber, as if poured from a celestial cup, condensing on damp rock walls, glinting faintly on spear tips, casting a pale, throwing light upon the animal hides. You open your eyes wide, in that instant forgetting the cold, the dust, and the predators beyond the cave. The cave transforms into a lantern illuminated by moonlight. Long before writing or calendars, prehistoric humans lived in harmony with the lunar phases. This is now an indisputable historical fact. The moon guided hunting, gathering, and rituals. It even governed sleep. This waxing and waning silver ore imparts rhythm to ages without clocks. Tonight you witness firsthand how moonlight seeps through cracks, marking time's passage with silent speech. Sleep no longer belongs solely to the realm of campfires. Guided by the vault above, you let that light wash your face cool as water. Unlike the fiery heat of flames, yet equally delightful, it softens shadows rather than sharpening contours, dyes the walls in gentle hues. The orange dance of the campfire appears milder against this pale companion. The cave is no longer just rock. It is a borrowed sky, housed within the rock walls. Imagine a child waking to this light, asking questions parents cannot fully answer. What is that silver glow? Why does its shape keep changing? Why do these questions linger still? A curious detail at archaeological sites: bones carved with grooves, interpreted by some scholars as lunar calendars. These markings may have tracked moon phases, perhaps to predict animal migrations or schedule ritual times. Imagine winter nights, when parents, restless and sleepless, carved marks into bone fragments, counting passing nights by moonlight seeping through shelter cracks. Sleep then was not mere surrender, but intertwined with observation, the night sky seeping into consciousness like cave air. Scholars still debate whether moonlight disrupted or aided prehistoric sleep. Some believe the bright moon kept families awake longer, breeding stories and dart beneath its glow. Others firmly hold that moonlight aligned rest with natural rhythms, guiding bodies into steadier cycles. When you gaze upon that pale beam tracing the earth, you find yourself embracing both views. It is both stimulant and lullaby, a mysterious reminder and a gentle signal to rest. Silver light traces the outlines of loved ones beside you. The moon's touch erases the lines of fatigue from their faces, softening their features. A child's round cheeks glow with innocent radiance. An elder's wrinkles become soft shadows in the moonlight. Time itself seems smoothed by this celestial brush. You realize moonlight never judges. It touches all things, revealing their beauty. No wonder myths shaped the moon into goddess, another guardian of the night. Even without divine names, people inevitably feel awe in this light. An extraordinary observation appears in the annals of ethnic history. Some later tribes believe sleeping directly in the moonlight brings dreams or visions, and prolonged exposure may even drive one mad. You wonder, did such beliefs begin in caves when silver moonlight seeped through rock crevices? Did mothers wrap their children tightly in furs, warning them not to gaze too long, or did they whisper that moonlight carries tales to guide dreamers into the spirit realm? Both tales could be true, depending on who tells them. The moonlight drifts slowly. As the moon arcs overhead, you watch it move across the stone walls, from ceiling to wall, from wall to floor, until it skims past your hand. You extend a finger to touch the moonlight, and smiles softly at the cool halo. Fire brings warmth. Moonlight brings peace. They seem opposites, yet both lift you up. One wards off the cold. The other dispels fear. You sigh softly, letting both lights soak into your skin. Archaeologists often note many cave paintings cluster around cracks or holes where natural light filters in. Is this mere coincidence or deliberate choice? Some believe artists used moonlight to illuminate rock surfaces, creating a silver stage for sacred paintings. Others suggest these sites were chosen purely for the unique beauty of the light there. Regardless, you understand its allure. Tonight, even without ochre or charcoal, the moonlit rock wall seems to come alive. Academic debate delves deeper during the coldest winter months. Does the moon exert a stronger hold over human sleep cycles than the sun, when daylight is fleeting, and the night stretches endlessly? The moon becomes our clock. When it hangs high and bright, people may stir and move. When it fades and dims, they sink into deeper slumber. The truth remains elusive, yet lying here now, gently rocked by moonlight, you already feel its dominion. Your body submits to it willingly. The cave's silence grows deeper. Only the drip of water and occasional sighs from loved ones break the stillness. But moonlight transforms the essence of silence, making it sacred rather than void. You see it as a gift, proof that the outside world still exists, even though surrounded by walls. Stars in the sky endure. Perhaps ancestors saw the moon as a visitor, peering in to check on their safety, blessing their repose. Among the folk tales collected by later generations, one curious story emerges. People often believe dreams on full moon nights warm or vivid, sometimes even foretelling the future. You imagine this tradition began with a sleeper who tossed and turned beneath the moonlight, awakening with visions impossible to ignore. Perhaps the next day they would tell others the moon speaks through dreams. Thus stories grew. Thus myths took root. All from the simple drama of silver light dancing between rocks. You struggle to keep your eyes open a moment longer, unwilling to let this beauty slip away. Yet your eyelids grow heavy and fall. The cave is still as water. Silver and amber blend. Warmth and coolness balance. You feel embraced not only by rock, campfire, and kin, but gently cradled by the sky itself. Moonlight watches silently, enduring and eternal. You surrender to it willingly. Sleep does not descend in darkness, but in silver. You drift into dreams beneath the gaze of this celestial companion, safe and sound beneath the shelter of rock, guided by the night's rhythm that has shaped humanity since its dawn. As clouds sweep across the sky, the silver threads of moonlight grow thin. The cave plunges once more into dimness. In the silence that follows, another sound rises, filling the space. A long, low cry pierces the night. An owl. Its voice shatters the silence, echoing between the stone walls. Then fading away, you lie still, your ear pressed to its rhythm, half minus alarm, half minus calm. This cry is indeed eerie, yet strangely reassuring, as if reminding you beyond the cave, life still surges, yet it will not disturb your peace. Most archaeological evidence suggests the world inhabited by prehistoric humans was filled with nocturnal sounds, the howling of wolves, the cries of owls, the barking of foxes. Without modern sound priming or glass windows, these sounds reached their dreams, shaping a way of rest we can scarcely imagine today. For some, these cries might have been unsettling. For others, they were lullabies, a steady signal that the world still turned as it should. For your ancestors, silence itself might have been more alarming. Silence meant the absence of loss, perhaps even danger. You listen again. The owl cries a second time, its tone deeper, closer, sound waves echoing through the cavern. The rock walls alter its timbre. In this acoustic theater, one bird becomes many, as if the cave itself joins the chorus. Some anthropologists suggest early humans linked these echoes to supernatural forces, interpreting nocturnal cries as messages from the unseen realm. The cave amplified these beliefs, transforming simple hoots into spirit whispers. Folklore, however, strikes a different note across many cultures. Owls later became symbols of wisdom, death, or prophecy. The reasons are not hard to imagine. Their eyes gleam in the firelight, their hoots echo with unnatural reverberations, and their most active hours coincide with humanity's greatest vulnerability under the night sky. Perhaps these associations began deep within the caves. Whenever an eerie hoot sounded, children huddled beneath furs would start awake. Elders might tease the fear with stories, imbuing the sound with new meaning. Academics still debate whether nocturnal sounds disrupt or aid sleep. Some argue frequent calls break sleep, keeping one in light sleep. Others contend these sounds blend into the natural soundscape, masking sudden disturbances, making the brain feel secure. Tonight, as the owl's call pierces the stone walls and drifts into your ears, you lean toward the latter view. The cries cycle endlessly, steady and predictable. They are not disturbances, but reminders. In this night you are not alone. With the rhythm of the sound waves, your eyelids slowly descend. Owl cries. Silence gradually fills. Water drips. Fire crackles. Layers of sound intertwine, weaving a symphony beyond any single note. You suddenly realize ancient nights were never silent. They were symphonies composed by the elements: beast cries, wind and rain, firelight, flowing water, breath. Sleep is not forced amidst the clamor, but traverses through it. The body perceives this clamor as the world's natural heartbeat. Certain caves preserve peculiar details: small bird bones found beside hearths, perhaps owls, whether hunted for food, feathers, or symbolic meaning, remains unclear. Perhaps feathers once lined bedding, or bones clattered in rituals. Or perhaps these birds' mythic existence began with their cries lingering beyond the dream's edge, until people longed to give them form in waking hours. You imagine elders placing owl feathers beside beds as talismans, believing their hoots could ward off danger. Another hoot sounds, this time longer, more resonant. A child whimpers softly beneath the animal's skin, tosses and turns. Parents' hands gently soothe, whispering reassurance. The child gradually sinks into sleep. This seemingly ordinary act reveals how sound forges familial bonds. Family members comfort each other through the night sounds, weaving reassurance into shared repose. Even fear dissolves into collective memory, melting away through touch and murmurs. You can't help but wonder, how do these cries weave into dreams? Do sleepers dream of soaring with owls across moonlit forests? Or do nightmares from in the branches, those gleaming eyes watching from treetops? Unmoved. No escape? Both possibilities exist. Dreams are porous like sponges. The night soundscapes seeps easily within, perhaps precisely because the boundary between waking sounds and dream imagery is so blurred. Mythology flourishes so richly. Scholars studying sleep in traditional societies note natural sounds often trigger micro-awakenings, without fully rousing one. In this moment, you seem to see someone stirred by the cries, briefly opens their eyes, glimpses the faint glow of embers, then closes them again in contentment. These tiny moments weave the long night's repose, light yet no less nourishing. The owl becomes part of the tapestry of sleep, not a tear in the fabric. The campfire sighs again, exhaling sparks. The owl echoes, like a dialogue. Pondering this scene, a faint smile touches your lips. Flame and bird converse in the night. Two utterly different guardians. The cave embraces both sounds, merging them into its rocky body. You are merely a listener, floating on the edge of sleep, allowing this duet to lift you up. Acoustic research reveals a curious phenomenon: certain caves amplify specific frequencies, making owl hoots louder or more resonant than in other caverns. This might explain why people regard them as significant beings. Children raised in such caves might perceive owls as larger than life itself. Their hoots are omnipresent, impossible to ignore. Tonight, as the sound waves surge at your ears, you truly grasp this reality. This bird's voice is not faint, but the night's hymn. Your eyelids grow heavier and heavier. Each hoot blends more seamlessly with your breath. The owl hoots again, yet softer now, or perhaps farther away. You cannot tell if it has flown farther, or if you've drifted into half-minus sleep. The cave embraces you, between rock and sound, between fear and comfort. It rocks like a cradle. Outside the cave, predators prowl, snow piles up, branches creak. But inside the cave, the sounds of night are no enemies. They are companions. You surrender to them, letting their rhythm carry you over the threshold. In this cave, in this winter, even the owl's haunting song becomes a lullaby. The heavy weight in your belly, the fullness after supper spreads, the faint, lingering taste of fat still on your tongue, carrying the rich aroma of campfire minus smoked meat. You close your eyes, yet memories of the feast swirl before you. Strips of roasted meat passed hand to hand, marrow cracked from bones with satisfying snaps, slowly chewed bitter roots, and autumn minus stored berries now shriveled yet still sweet. Food does more than fill the belly. It alters how sleep settles within. Excavations at Paleolithic sites often reveal mountains of animal bones. Their charred edges whisper of meals shared before families curled beneath hides. It's widely believed high-minus protein, high-minus diets helped people endure harsh winters, bodies burning slowly, releasing heat throughout the night. A belly warmed by reindeer meat or mammoth fat meant faster, more restful sleep. Tonight you experience this sensation firsthand. The warmth of food radiating outward, guiding muscles toward relaxation. You shifted slightly on the thatched mat, hearing the creak of grass stems, feeling the weight of food anchoring you. Sleep depends not only on campfires, animal hides, or loved ones, but also on what you've eaten. An empty stomach keeps one tossing and turning. Hunger rouses you, fullness envelops you in heaviness. Modern research confirms this truth. High-minus protein, high-minus fat meals often induce drowsiness, as the body redirects energy toward digestion. Science and instinct seem to walk the same path. Analysis of prehistoric teethware reveals an intriguing detail. Residues of starch granules and plant fibers prove meals weren't all meat. People dug for roots and tubers, gathered nuts, dried fruits, and even stored tubers for famine. Imagine chewing tough roots before sleep, the earthy bitterness spreading between your teeth. This was no luxury, but a reminder even in scarcity, diversity existed. Each bite shaped a different night's rest. Meat lulled, roots steadied, berries invigorated. Anthropologists still debate whether late-minus night feasting improved or disrupted sleep. One view holds that the heat generated by digestion was a perfect companion for deep slumber. The other argues it awakened bodily functions, leading to chaotic dreams or frequent awakenings. Perhaps both theories hold true, depending on food type, quantity consumed, and physical exhaustion. But tonight, your personal experience leans toward the former. Full, worn, utterly spent. Sleep pulls you into dreams with greater intensity than ever. Thoughts drift back to the meal, firelight flickering on hands tearing flesh, lips glistening with the sheen of fat, bones cracked open with sharp stones, marrow flowing out, the air thick with the rich scent of fat dripping into flames. Children chewing berries preserved in woven baskets, chins stained crimson with fruit juice, even laughter echoing. Yes, even in the harshest winter, food brings joy. This joy carried into sleep, softening every sharp edge of the body. Sleep came not only from warmth, but from shared memories, from the warmth of filling bellies together. Archaeologists noted a peculiar phenomenon: traces of pine nuts and acorns found in half-ashes at certain sites. These easily overlooked snacks might have been roasted before sleep, releasing the nutty fragrance. Imagine lying here, as your eyelids grow heavy, while that faint scent lingers on your nose. Food is not merely sustenance, but an atmosphere woven into the lullaby of scent and taste. You sigh softly, as the weight of sleep deepens, your limbs resisting movement, your body surrendering to gravity. This is both the bedding's doing, and also the arrangement of the meal. Fatty meats fill the belly, signaling to the brain slow down, conserve energy. Hunger fuels wake-up signals, satiety unlocks dreams. You realize this is winter night's hidden rhythm: eat, warm, sleep, repeat. The cave is not just shelter, it's dining room, stove, and bed all in one. Academic consensus remains elusive on how food storage influences sleep patterns. Some argue tried successfully preserving jerky and root vegetables sleep soundly, with less hunger's torment. Others contend scarcity forces intermittent nighttime awakenings. Two nibble mega reserves. Truth may vary. Tonight, in your imagination, abundance reigns supreme. After a hearty meal, leftover safe from predators, you sink into undisturbed slumber. You recall the lingering taste of berries, their subtle tartness complementing the richness of meat. Your tongue still tingles with that bright hue, like a final flourish before sleep. Perhaps children cling to such flavors in their dreams, curled within winter hides, dreaming of summer's abundance. Food is not merely fuel, it is memory, it is promise, drifting into dreams with sweetness, surely softening the harshest cold nights. Another intriguing detail: copper ore analysis. Indeed, ancient preserved residues reveal medicinal plants mixed within meals. Some may have been mild sedatives, easing coughs or soothing stomachs. Imagine chewing bitter leaves before sleep, frowning yet knowing they ease your breathing. Medicinal potions disguised as supper, leading straight to restful slumber, even without chemistry. Instinct guided people to sleep minus inducing plants. The hearth crackles softly, warmth in the belly, body heavy. You let your thoughts drift back to the rhythm of eating, the crack of bones, the satisfied murmurs of loved ones. These echoes gradually dissolve into slow, deep breaths. The meal transforms into a warm current within. The body responds to the feast with complete relaxation, muscles slacked like straw in animal fur. Outside the cave, predators still sniff at the scraps, but within the cave, satiety builds a barrier. Hunger holds no claws. Tonight, note of minus like gnaw in the darkness, body and mind at peace, lifted into dreams by warmth and shadow, and held aloft by the steady anchor of fullness. The final lucid thought, pure and profoundly human: I am full, I may sleep. Within the cave, breath mingles with the warmth of the hearth fire, yet the air grows heavy. You notice something new as you inhale. A sharp crispness weaves through the smoke, and a faint, subtle sweetness. Someone has tossed a block of resin into the embers. The sizzling resin spatters, releasing a unique fragrance that pierces the dampness. The scent coils around your nostrils, both soothing and invigorating. Charred resin, undurable traces found in European and Near Eastern archaeological sites suggest ancient peoples burned plants not only for light, but for fragrance and efficacy. Many scholars agree evergreens like pine and juniper were prized for purifying smoke. This aroma was no mere garnish, it eased breathing, lost acrid odors, and even repelled pests. Tonight you distinctly feel the air shift in an instant. Oppression dissipates. Breathing becomes effortless, as if the cave itself sighs in relief. You draw closer to the fire, watching resin bubble and crackle. Viscous sap liquefies, flowing like honey, ultimately turning ink minus black. The scent grows more potent, sharp yet pleasing, blending with leathery musk, mineral dampness, and the savory char of meat. It enriches the cave's atmosphere. This scent borders on medicinal, making your chest expand slightly. Coughing gradually subsides. You wonder silently, did our ancestors also discover this secret? Over long ages did they find certain plants that made nights more peaceful? Experiments reveal a peculiar, yet crucial detail: burning pine resin releases anti-abricable compounds. Though prehistoric humans didn't understand chemistry, they likely grasped its effects: reduced coughing, lowered infections, and fresher air. Imagine them carrying bundles of pine resin, cherishing it like firewood, stored specifically for winter nights when illness raged. Take a deep breath. Now you finally understand why. The air seems lighter. Thoughts gradually settle. Regarding the essence of burning herbs, academic debate rages: was it deliberately burned for ritual, or merely added as fuel? Some scholars believe aromatic plants carried spiritual significance, lifting prayers with the smoke. Others insist on pragmatism: resin, viscous and flammable, was simply ideal fuel. Perhaps both are true. Practicality and spirituality often intertwine in human life. Tonight you imagine ancestors enjoying a dual blessing: purer lungs and calmer souls. This scent awakens memories not your own, yet lets you envision endless evergreen forests. Pine needles crunch beneath your feet. Resin clings to your fingertips. Perhaps someone gathered this resin in early autumn, scraped from the bough. For this very moment, the small sacrifice of daylight now becomes night's solace. You feel gratitude, though unsure whom to thank. You add more wood. The fire crackles. Smoke thickens briefly, then spreads evenly throughout the room. The child coughs at first, then quiets. Breathing grows gentle. The elder murmurs approval. The mattress trembles slightly with shifting bodies. You suddenly realize this ritual of adding resin might be as much an unlikely custom as stoking the fire. Over time, it becomes habit, expectation, even tradition. In certain ruins, this discovery proves intriguing. Herbs like yarrow and chamomile are pressed into mattress layers, whether to soften the bed, repel pests, or impart fragrance. Their presence reveals humanity's yearning beyond mere survival. People seek solace, imagining lying on straws scented with crushed leaves, the fragrance lingering until sleep overtakes them. Such a subtle thing, yet it holds profound humanity. Even within caves, people still wish to breathe beauty. You curl beneath the animal hide, drawing in deeply. The resin's fragrance mingles with weariness, pushing you toward dreams. Thoughts soften. You recall modern traditions: temple incense, herbs in pillows, essential oils in lamps. These are not inventions of civilization, but continuations of older traditions. Tonight you smell the source, primitive and simple, yet as tranquil as a candlelit bedroom. Academic circles remain divided on whether these customs are universal or localized. Some argue herbal incense is a cross-minus cultural universal. Others contend it's constrained by local flora and knowledge systems. Though the truth remains hazy, the outcome is clear. People discover that when air grows crisper, sweeter, gentler, sleep quality improves. As your breath grows slower, you feel this truth seep into your bones. Now you imagine the layered scents within the cave: the must of leather, the briny tang of damp crock, the charred trace of meat, and now the crisp sharpness of pine. This is the fragrance of survival, simple and steadfast, as the scent cradles you like a lullaby. A lullaby woven of molecules caresses your fluttering eyelids. Sleep approaches silently, not an imposition, but an invitation, as if the air itself gently lulls you to rest. An extraordinary discovery in certain cave chambers. Amber minus hued deposits life off from hearts, smeared upon walls, or mixed into pigments. Perhaps the resin was not only burned, but also as a pigment binder, or even a sacrificial incense in painting rituals. If so, the nightly ritual engaged all senses: sight, smell, touch. You lie here, imagining artists painting murals in the same fragrance as now. Resin smoke sharpened their minds, while children drifted to sleep beside them. Amidst flickering flames, resin suddenly bursts into brilliant light. After the final crackle, the fire softens once more. The cave fills with fragrant mist, no longer pungent, but gentle. Your lungs expand effortlessly. Your heartbeat gradually steadies. Resin works its magic. Whether through chemical action or psychological suggestion, sleep surges like a tide, steady and unstoppable. You curl deeper into the fur, surrounded by the scent. Outside, the snow piles higher. Inside, the air grows warmer, sweeter, more peaceful. You smile faintly, knowing your ancestors understood this comfort long before science could explain it. They discovered deep sleep not only wards off the cold, but also nurtures the breath. Tonight, you inherit this ancient wisdom, and so, lulled by the song of pine resin and smoke, you surrender to dreams. Your lungs and soul find peace. The campfire flickers steadily. Resin still crackles faintly. You turn to gaze at the quieter corners of the cave. There, children curled beside the rock walls, wrapped in fur and moss, their tiny bodies pressed against the cool stone. Warmth flushed their little faces. Their slightly intoxicated breaths turned to wispy white mist in the chill. You gaze at them. An unstoppable tenderness wells in your heart. This feeling is what all elders feel when watching sleeping children. Their presence transforms the cave from mere stone walls and fire, but transformed into a home. Archaeological excavations often uncover tiny footprints beside hearths and bedding, evidence that children once shared these spaces intimately. Scholars widely agree, even in prehistoric times, infants slept pressed close to their parents, wrapped in shared furs for warmth and protection. The thought of them being placed alone, left by themselves, is almost unimaginable. The threats of bitter cold and predators demanded close proximity. Now you can almost see it: a tiny arm curled against a mother's waist, a body wrapped in layers of fur. A fault-minus provoking discovery at a South African site, bedding interwoven with soft grass stems, likely prepared especially for children. These stems repelled insects and made the sleeping surface more comfortable. You picture parents carefully gathering these materials, just to give their child the best resting place. Even when resources were scarce, love remained abundant. Ensuring the young were comfortable was vital to the tribe's survival. Scholars still debate: did the presence of children in the cave disrupt the adult sleep patterns? Some argue frequent awakenings, nursing and soothing cries interrupted rest. Others propose the opposite view: the sound of the child's breathing actually reassured the parents, helping them sleep. When you listen to the faint breathing and murmurs in the corner, you lean toward the latter. These subtle sounds are not disturbances, but clear evidence of life's continuity. You imagine a child turning over, half-minus opening their eyes, quietly asking for water or warmth. Parents move without hesitation, adjusting the animal-minus skin bedding, whispering softly. The child sinks back into sleep almost instantly. The comfort of touch surpasses any words. These nightly minute rituals must forge bonds stronger than hunting or feasting. The love flowing each night, though hidden from archaeologists' gaze, is deeply etched into human memory. Certain burials reveal a peculiar phenomenon: children interred with miniature tools or ornaments, suggesting they were regarded as full members of the community from birth. If the departed received such honors, how profound must the care have been for the living, especially on bitter winter nights? Gazing at the tiny, sleeping form before you, you understand every adult in the cave was guarding them, even unconsciously. This was the unspoken pact of the tribe. You gently roll over. The mattress rustles softly, suddenly realizing how profoundly children shaped the tales told by the fire. Their questions, fears, and laughter, all woven into the fabric of night. Perhaps parents tell stories to soothe them, transforming predators into mythical creatures, shadows into playful spirits. These bedtime tales are as vital as sustenance, lulling tender hearts to peaceful slumber, so the entire group may rest. The echoes of those tales may well be the ancestors of today's lullabies and fairy tales. Researchers continue to explore the play areas in caves, the small stone chambers scattered with bones, or tool storage areas, once serve as daytime playgrounds for children. If so, then at nightfall, the transition from play to sleep must have been profound. Imagine children drifting off beneath rock walls, where they played shadow games, laughter turning to snores, imagination sinking into dreams. Even in prehistoric times, childhood followed its own cyclical rhythm, familiar and warm. A peculiar yet profound discovery: child remains often found alongside beads and shells suggests ornaments, perhaps even toys, were close companions. Did the child clasp these small objects in sleep? Did parents tuck charms into bedding to ward off nightmares? Such thoughts soften the heart. Almost modern tenderness, yet entirely plausible, even in the depths of caves. The instinct to comfort children with beauty may have taken root long ago. You gaze upon a child stretching in sleep. A tiny fist opens and closes. This gesture, so fragile and delicate, bears the weight of survival. Each child's peaceful slumber signifies the continuation of the clan. Every adult instinctively understands this. The cave's silence guards not only the sleepers, but the future itself. Academic debate persists. Did high infant mortality make parent-child bonds more distant or more intense? Some argue the pain of loss made ties fragile, while others insist it deepened parental devotion, each child symbolizing precious continuity. In this cave's faint glow, for wraps tightly round tender bodies, you can feel the intense presence. Here, tenderness is primal and unadorned. Yet undeniably, these children are not merely individuals. They are the very heartbeat of the tribe. You inhale deeply. A blend of resin, leather, and smoke fills your nostrils. Only then do you realize how profoundly this atmosphere is shaped by the children. Their presence alters the soundscape, the rhythm, even the very texture of the night. The adult's cave might be as silent as lead, but the children's dwelling echoes with faint whimpers, soft breaths, and occasional sleep murmurs. Here there's less tranquility, yet more vitality. A faint smile curves your lips, slowly sinking into your own dreams, imagining yourself nestled beside your parents, protected, cherished. Perhaps you clasp a small talisman in your hand, a bead or a feather, still warm from the campfire. The cave is vast. Winter rages. Beasts lurk nearby. But within this cocoon, security permeates every corner. As the children's breaths even out, dreams and firelight blend. The entire tribe sinks into enduring peace. The youngest sleeps soundly, and so, the eldest find rest. The night stretches long. Tomorrow's gentle promise spreads silently. The children's stillness gradually replaced by another presence overhead. As eyes drift to the rock walls and vaulted ceiling, vague lines emerge in the firelight. This time, not cracks or shadows, but deliberate strokes of ochre, smudges of charcoal, patterns imprinted by ancient hands. The animals on the murals gaze down upon you. Broad minus shoulder day, you are ox, galloping steeds, antlers branching high like tree limbs, frozen yet vivid. Their eyes catch the firelight, as if blinking. Archaeological discoveries at sites like Lascaux and Chauve reveal Cavemen often coexisted with living, unsleeping spaces. Most scholars agree these images were not mere decoration. They carried meaning, perhaps spiritual symbols, perhaps teachings, perhaps both. Sleeping beneath these paintings meant not only family protection, but also resting under the gaze of spirits, beings greater than life itself, guardians of the night or guides. You shift slightly and tilt your neck to imagine how these murals shaped the hours of rest. When children gazed upward, the scene before their eyes might have been not just pigment, but herds of animals marching across the stone walls. When adults closed their eyes, these eternal images might have made hunting dreams all the more vivid. The cave was not merely a shelter. but a gallery of imagination. Dreams took root even before sleep fell. Certain rock-art caves feature distinctive details, some images deliberately painted above or near sleeping areas. Archaeologists speculate whether this was coincidence or design. Did families choose to rest beneath by sung paintings rather than blank walls, seeking protection in slumber? Were predator depictions warnings, reminders to stay vigilant even in dreams? Though unresolved, the very arrangement invites profound reflection as you lie beneath these stone formations. Questions linger in your mind. Scholars still debate were these murals displayed solely during rituals, or were they part of the cave dwellers' daily landscape? Some argue the art was sacred, reserved for ceremonies deep within the caves, far from sleeping quarters. Others point to the soot near the painted walls, suggests a year-round fire below, meaning people lived constantly with these images. As you gaze upon the ochre outlines, you lean toward the latter. They are too vivid, too lifelike, too close to ignore. The fire flickers, shadows ripple across the painted forms. Suddenly the bison seems to shift, horse hooves suddenly lift, antlers sway gently. The illusion is startling yet mesmerizing. Perhaps the artist intended to breathe life into the animals, blurring the boundary between stone and living. For you, lying beneath the rock wall, this feels like the beginning of a waking dream. A curious, minute discovery. Some murals reveal multiple legs or overlapping outlines, as if the artist deliberately hinted at motion. Under the flickering light, those forms would surely appear to be running. Imagine the sleeper, half-minus awake, half-minus asleep, witnessing the hour of herds migrating across the ceiling. Dreams would naturally arise, brimming with rhythm, brimming with vitality. You breathe slowly. Your gaze lingers on ochre strokes. The scent of resin still lingers in the air, mingling with smoke, as if even the air pays homage to these images. You wonder if families whispered prayers to the animals before sleep, asking the wild bull for strength, the swift horse for speed, the elk for alertness. Sleep itself may have been seen as a gateway into the animal world, guided by spirits painted overhead. Scholars debate whether cave art served symbolic or practical purposes. Some view it as magic to ensure successful hunts. Others see it as memory aids, teaching children to recognize the creatures of the world. But now, as you lie here, your eyelids grow heavy. Suddenly you realize these paintings fulfill another purpose, setting the mood. They transform the cave beyond the coldness of rock, imbuing it with life, meaning, and a sense of security. When the walls are no longer blank, but covered in gifts, sleep comes more easily. A peculiar and captivating discovery: handprints, silhouettes in radiant black pressed into the rock, some so small, they seem like a child's traces. Imagine lying beneath the mark you left, that palm print pressed earlier today. Each night you sleep beneath proof of your existence, resting within your own world coordinates. A comfort modern bedrooms struggle to match. Tonight you picture your palm pressed against the rock above, glowing faintly in the firelight, guarding your descent into dreams. Animals gaze upward, silent and focused, yet they seem more alive than many humans you know. Stillness holds the tremor of power. You feel this force seep into your body, certain you belong to a greater cycle: predator and prey, hunter and hunted, survival itself. Art tells you where you belong, and this belonging lets sleep come naturally. You finally close your eyes, though the images remain vivid behind your eyelids. Bison thunder, steeds gallop, antelope sleep. They escort you into dreams. These guides are not merely painted on stone, they are etched into memory. You sink deeper, supported by the murals, as if cradled by bedding and hearth fire. Outside, the storm subsides. Within the cave, the spirits of beasts breathe with you. You sigh. Your body feels heavy. Your thoughts drift. You let the herds in the paintings carry you over the threshold, into the realm of dreams. Outside, the snow falls thicker. It piles at the cave entrance, until silence seeps inward. The entrance narrows, its edges blurred by white snow. As the snow piles up, even sounds shift silently. The wind's howl fades to a low hum, as if the cave is wrapped in a blanket. The outside world recedes, cut off by layers of snow, and you dwell in deeper stillness. Archaeological evidence from high-latitude sites shows winter snow often seals cave entrances. Sometimes humans deliberately pile branches to encourage snow accumulation. Scholars widely agree this accidental insulation layer greatly benefited them. The snow transformed into a natural barrier, replacing the cold wind's rampage within the cave chamber, enveloping family members in tranquility. Now you experience this firsthand when the blizzard could no longer tear open the entrance. Sudden stillness descended. You draw a deep breath. The air is indeed colder, yet strangely, no howling wind rattles the hearth fire. Instead, the flames burn more evenly. Smoke curls upward, without a ripple. The entire cave seems gently sheltered by the earth. You suddenly realize the snow once seen as an enemy can also become a guardian. It blocks predators, erases scents, conceals footprints. Wolves may prowl outside, but their movements are softened to near invisibility. An unusual phenomenon was discovered during archaeological excavations, the lines of soot on the cave ceiling. They are often shallower near the entrance, suggesting airflow was once severely obstructed. Researchers speculate, when snow sealed the cave, it became airtight. Smoke could scarcely escape. This was both blessing and curse, preserving warmth, while saturating the air with smoke. Imagine those families struggling between gratitude for this silent peace and the irritation stinging their eyes. Tonight, you taste this very balance in your throat. The smoky spice grows sharper, yet made bearable by the gift of this stillness. Scholars still debate, was the snow-sealed cave a deliberate choice or a forced acceptance? Some believe humans willingly embraced insulation by adjusting their fires to adapt. Others maintain they viewed the blocked entrance as perilous, fearing suffocation or entrapment. Curled within your bedding, both perspectives clash within you. The liberation of isolation from the world wrestles with the unease of being swallowed by the cave. The silence is deep and suffocating. The owl's cry has faded. The wolf's howl grows faint, like a whisper. Even the dripping sound is softened by the cushioning snow, as if you've entered a womb wrapped in primordial stillness. Your body responds instinctively, breathing slows. Shoulders relax. Eyelids grow heavy. In this cocoon of stillness, sleep descends more easily. Modern ethnography offers a thought-provoking footnote in Arctic communities. Igloos and snow huts produce nearly identical effects. Insulation, sound-priming, sleep-inducing. Though caves and snow huts differ, their principles align. Snow, the hunter's natural enemy across this wilderness, becomes an ally when transformed into walls and ceilings. Tonight you share this experience, curled within a cradle carved by winter's own hand. At the entrance, the campfire's glow reflects off the snow, dyeing the snow-covered walls amber-hue. Shadows dance upon the walls, vivid yet harmless. A child stirs and peeks, and immediately breaks into a smile. Certain nothing can breach this barrier. The adult shifts their body, tucking the animal hide tighter, accepting no cold wind will tear through their deep sleep tonight. The snow is both shield and blanket, the very structure of the cave. You exhale, noticing the sound within your chest has changed. As the outside clamor fades, the heartbeat grows clearer. Each pulse echoes faintly in your ears. You suddenly realize, perhaps ancient humans too, in moments of external stillness, experience this inward-focused awareness. Perhaps they use these nights to sink into deeper dreams, even to gain spiritual visions. When external disturbances vanish, sleep is no longer merely rest, but becomes a journey of self-discovery. Opinions vary on whether long, silent nights breed anxiety or tranquility. Some scholars believe silence amplifies fear, making every faint sound in the cave seem ominous. Others suggest it soothes the spirit, bringing restorative sleep. Your experience leans towards serenity. The embrace of snow offers a sense of shelter. Even the occasional crackle of firewood seems gentler, more rhythmic. The earth itself seems to rock you, The cave becomes a cradle. Archaeologists have discovered unusually thick layers of ash in sealed caves, suggesting that in poorly ventilated conditions, people would prolong the burning of their campfires. Perhaps they feared the cold more than the smoke. Perhaps they believed the snow purified the air through microscopic pores invisible to the naked eye. Regardless, they slept amidst thicker smoke, trading the freedom of breath for peace. Now you feel the same. Your lungs labor harder, yet your heartbeat steadies. Safety is not found in purity, but discovered in compromise. Snow muffles footsteps. If predators prowl outside, you hear no sound. This very ignorance is comfort. We're no longer constantly reminded of lurking threats. Sleep comes easier. At least tonight, you turn a deaf ear to danger. The world shrinks to campfire, kin, rock, and your own breath. The longer you immerse in this muted silence, the heavier your body feels. All sounds fade into the distance: the crackle of resin, the fall of droplets, the sigh of shifting leather. They have not vanished, only wrapped layer by layer in silence. Like pebbles beneath slow drifts, the mind floats in nothingness, lulled by the silence, mistaking the world itself for stillness. This is the perfect stage for dreams. You close your eyes, breathing in the sweet, smoky risen scent, letting the heavy night carry you. Outside the cave, storms rage, beasts prowl, snow piles high as mountains. Within the cave, you lie undisturbed in silence, sealed tight, safe within winter's womb. The cave is utterly still, snow piles thick at the entrance. Yet even in this profound stillness, you feel the familiar ache spreading through your bones. The mattress is soft enough. The hearth fire burns steadily, but the stone slab beneath remains hard as iron. Your hips ache from the pressure. Your shoulders protest. Your knees stiffen. Age matters little, even the young awaken sore after a night on stone. You shift slightly, seeking relief, but each movement reminds you of the cold ground beneath. Archaeological studies reveal ancient bones riddled with joint wear, spinal compression, and bone spurs. It's widely accepted that prehistoric life was arduous, not only due to hunting and danger, but because rest itself demanded a price. Night after night on hard rock, with only animal hides and straw for padding, the body bears the imprint of endurance. Now you truly understand how the earth etches its memory into your very muscles. You curl tighter, seeking warmth and comfort simultaneously. Animal hides soften the most biting cold, yet the stone bed remains as hard and cold as ever. Your ancestors adapted. Their bodies grew resilient, their pain thresholds gradually rising. Yet pain inevitably follows like a shadow. Imagine an elder turning over, with the soft-grown joints swollen, spine stiff. Younger can listen intently, perhaps offering an extra pelt, but nothing can fully erase that hardness. Sleep descends, yet always at a cost. Strange small objects found in certain burial sites, smoothed shells or flattened stones, placed beneath the corpse. Researchers speculate they served as pillows or cushions for aching necks. Others suggest they were symbolic offerings. Regardless, the intention is clear: to soften, if only slightly, the stubborn earth. Tonight, as your neck presses against the cold ground, you imagine reaching for that stone smoothed by hands. Let it cradle you and carry you into steadier dreams. The extent to which cold exacerbates pain remains a subject of scholarly debate. Some argued dampness and bitter cold intensify arthritis, making bones stiff as iron before their time. Others contend genetic factors play a greater role. Both perspectives may hold truth. As you breathe in the cool, mist-laden air, you feel the chill seeping into your joints. How your body instinctively curls for protection. Pain is no exception. It is part of the nightly ritual. You listen to the sounds around you. Some snore deeply, weariness numbing their senses. Others toss and turn, coughing, murmuring. The communal nest cannot erase discomfort, only share the burden. Perhaps precisely because we lean on each other, pain spreads more easily across many shoulders. You recall how humans have always sought companionship in hardship. Even now, The groans of kin feel less lonely than groaning alone. In experiments recreating Paleolithic bedding, an unusual discovery emerged when participants slept on fur and straw. Many felt aches, yet unexpectedly showed resilience. After several nights, bodies gradually adapted, muscles adjusted, pain dulled. Even on the hard ground, sleep grew deeper. It seems repeated discomfort can eventually become familiarity. Tonight you sense the beginning of this shift. The ache in your hips gradually subsides. Your spine begins to relax. Though stubborn, your body learned how to rest upon stone. Yet you still ponder ways to ease the pain. Did ancient people massage aching joints with warm animal fat? Did they apply hot stones from the campfire to muscle spasms? Though unverified, these practices are not hard to imagine. Necessity breeds invention. Humanity's craving for comfort remains constant. A vision flashes in your mind, an elder pressing warm stones against knees, before sleep finally overtook you. That sigh of relief. Academic consensus remains divided on whether prehistoric pain significantly shortened lifespans. Some evidence suggests many lived long enough to develop severe arthritis, meaning they endured decades of discomfort. Others argue chronic pain restricted mobility, leading to early death. But truth may always remain complex and elusive. But one thing is certain as you toss and turn upon the animal hides. Pain does not end life. It accompanies it. Like smoke follows flame. Eternal, sometimes bothersome yet bearable. You close your eyes. Acknowledge the pain without fighting it. The trick isn't banishing the ache, but weaving it into the rhythm of night. The body learns to rest within the ache, to drift into sleep amidst the stiffness. This may well be the hidden strength of your ancestors, not fleeing hardship, but sleeping within it, awaking with it, carrying it forward, still unyielding. A peculiar yet profound detail: certain cave skeletons show healed fracture marks, meaning people survived for years with severe injuries. Such survival required care. Someone must have assisted them, shared the burden, ensured they could rest. You imagine a hunter with a broken leg lying on this bed, tended to by family, enduring countless nights of agony, yet surviving through another's vigil. Within this tenderness lies the secret of human resilience. Your eyelids droop once more. The pain hasn't faded, but recedes like mist and dripping water into the background. It belongs to the cave, to the body, to life itself. When you accept this existence, you surrender to deeper rest. Believe that even amidst discomfort, sleep will eventually descend. The hearth fire flickers faintly. The snow lies solid and firm. Surrounding bodies breathe steadily. Pain lingers relentlessly. Yet dreams still rise. You surrender, once more confirming ancestral wisdom. Restful sleep is not pain minus free, but the art of letting go amidst suffering. The ache in your joints fades with the flow of consciousness. Yet another sensation quietly emerges: the pulse of breath. You not only feel your own chest rise and fall, but also hear the intertwined chorus of breaths surround you. The entire cave seems to breathe like a living thing, filled with lungs beating in unison. The sound is soft yet enduring. Air flows ceaselessly and undoubt, weaving the texture of the night. Archaeologists studying prehistoric dwellings often mention how ancient people slept pressed close together. It's widely believed that in such cramped spaces, the rhythms of breathing became a collective song. One person's inhalation brushed another's cheek. One person's exhalation warmed another's neck. Air was shared, circulated, exchanged, repeated countless times in a single night. Now you feel the faint warmth of someone's breath brushing your skin. Lungs and heart intertwine, creating their own rhythm. You sense your body unconsciously adjusting, breathing gradually slowing, synchronizing with the surrounding cadence, merging into a greater beat. Modern sleep studies indicate that collective sleepers often synchronize their breathing and even heartbeats. Perhaps because of this, you feel increasingly calm now, as if the entire group gently rocks you to sleep. It is not just you who rests, but you together from a multi-hearted organism. In certain caves, Black patterns appear on walls near the low ceilings. This remarkable discovery proves the air once hung heavy and stagnant, smoke minus filled, oxygen minus depleted. Yet humans thrived here. Some scholars suggest collective breathing may have trained bodies to adapt to harsh environments, teaching lungs to function in poorer quality. Tonight you experience it firsthand. Each inhale feels slightly heavier, yet smoother, simply because everyone's breath resonates in unison. Shared adaptability transforms into shared resilience. Scholars still debate, is this collective breathing a pure survival strategy, or does it hold symbolic meaning? Some see it as an inevitable result of close proximity, while others propose it may be humanity's affirmation of shared bloodlines, a tangible sharing of life energy, the intertwining of breaths. You can almost imagine elders explaining to children, look, our souls are inherently connected. We breathe the same air, and thus endure. Whether fact or metaphor, its effect is undeniable. Open your ears. You no longer hear a single voice, but an entire choir. Children's breaths are quick and shallow, their tones high, minus pitched. Elders breathe slowly, a deep rumble emanating from their chests. Adults fall between the two, forming a multi-minus layered soundscape. Though imperfect, this breathing achieves a wondrous harmony, like an a cappella chant. Each exhalation a note, each inhalation a pause before the next sound. In traditional group sleep experiments, a peculiar phenomenon emerged. Participants reported feeling uneasy when falling asleep alone in silence. Conversely, hearing others breathe nearby deepened their slumber. This sound is a certificate of peace, a seal of safety. Tonight, you will engrave this truth into your bones. Each inhalation around you like a sentinel signal, I am alive. I am here. You are not alone. You exhale slowly, synchronizing your breath with those beside you. The warmth of mingling breaths makes you curve your lips, a knowing smile at this intimacy. Here there is no romance, no awkwardness, only survival. To breathe together is to live together. At winter's core, this truth cuts sharper than any spear. An ethnographic record reveals a peculiar, moving detail. Certain cultures believe breath carries fragments of the soul. To share breath is to share souls. If such beliefs existed in prehistory, then sleep itself might have been seen as a fusion of life souls intertwining with each exhalation. Tonight you truly feel the poetry within it. Dreams may not belong solely to you, but to the air shared within the cave. The campfire flickers briefly before dimming again. Shadows sweep across sleeping faces. Yet breathing remains steady. Even as light and shadow shift, this rhythm of breath never ceases. You realize that in such surroundings, even waking in the dead of night feels utterly different. Sitting up and surveying your surroundings, hearing the collective breathing, fear vanishes instantly. Nothing soothes the soul more than the tangible proof of collective survival. Academic debate persists over whether such crowded living conditions accelerated disease transmission. Some argue it did. Evidence from infected bones supports this concern. Others counter that the shared warmth and security outweighed the risks. As you inhale the circulating smoke minus laden air, the truths press upon you simultaneously. Disease is ever minus present, but solitude proves more deadly. Eyelids grow heavy and droop. The chorus fades. Breaths blend into indistinguishable harmony. The cave transforms into a lung lobe, rising and falling, exhaling life. You merge with it, carried by the rhythm of the group. Even dreams begin to echo with breaths. Each image connects to inhalation and exhalation, a peculiar detail in certain well-preserved ruins. Ancient bedding layers were found tightly stacked, suggesting people lay so close, their heads nearly touching. Imagine the intimacy of breath brushing hair, the warmth sealing gaps with body heat. Tonight you dream of lying this close, cheek pressed against another's shoulder, breath mingling with theirs. Here there is no privacy, yet profound solace. You close your eyes completely, surrendering to this rhythm. The scale of the cave. You sigh softly. The sighs of the crowd merge into a tidal wave of breath. The outside world may be wild, sharp, merciless, But within this chamber, breath is shared, and this sharing is sanctuary, the final thought before sleep. As pure as breath itself I breathe. You breathe. We breathe. Therefore, we rest. The chorus of breath settles your spirit. But then another sound emerges above it. A low, soft voice. Almost a whisper. An elder speaks. The tone carries no authority. It's not even conversational. Yet it flows like water over stones, lulling you into drowsiness. The words are brief, perhaps not yet fully formed. Yet in the dimness, they draw your attention. It is a story. In this cave, stories are as essential as the campfire. Archaeological traces cannot capture language. But ethnographic studies show oral tradition is among humanity's oldest forms of transmission. Gathered around the fire, lying beneath animal hides, families pass the hours with tales of beasts, ancestors, and spirits. It is widely believed these stories served not merely as entertainment, but as memory, instruction, and solace. Tonight you listen quietly as elders' whispers flow through the cavern. Those images still bring comfort as eyelids grow heavy. The tale begins with a giant stag, antlers wider than treetops, strolling across snowfields. You picture it clearly. The firelight's shadow on the wall matches the description perfectly. Children stir beneath their blankets. Familiar rhythms rouse them. Adults' lips curve in a faint smile. This tale is as familiar as their own names. Told countless times, its charm lies in repetition. The stag journeys ceaselessly, never yielding. In harsh seasons, it reminds people of resilience's power. This detail stems from later hunter-gatherer groups' bedtime stories, often mirrored reality, chasing beasts, enduring winters. Yet cloaked in magical garb, they taught children survival skills, while instilling purpose in adults. Here, myth and manual blur. When elders described stags pawing snow for hidden grass, you felt this fusion, both fantasy and instruction, conveying patience and tenacity. Scholars still debate whether these tales were purely educational tools or spiritual vessels. Some see them as mnemonic devices, using rhythm to memorize survival wisdom. Others insist on their sacredness, as rituals summoning animal spirits into dreams. You vaguely sense the fusion of both. Stories both comfort and instruct, both soothe and elevate, transforming survival into meaning. The hearth crackles, sparks fly. The elder's voice grows hushed, almost a whisper. Children instinctively draw ear, though half-minus asleep. At the climax, the stag confronts wolves. Tension briefly rises, but the pack ultimately bows in reverence, honoring the stag's strength. Children now close their eyes, content, conflict resolved. Stories that conclude with comfort rather than terror always bring more peaceful sleep. This unique observation of cave paintings often finds its image re-echoing contemporary indigenous oral traditions. Bison, deer, and horses all take center stage, even as the original words fade away. The continuity of these images reveals deep cultural roots. Tonight's tale may be one of countless variations over the ages, like deer tracks on snow stretching back to antiquity. The elder continues his tale. His voice grows faint. The intervals between words lengthen. Even their narration mirrors the rhythm of sleep, slowing until silence fills the gaps. This may be intentional, a skill honed through generations, stopping when listeners drift into dreams. The story needs no closing words. Sleep itself provides the conclusion, a curious yet touching detail. Modern scholars, before drifting off in dim, quiet rooms, often speak to themselves. They find stories soothe their minds. This hints at the primal origins of bedtime narratives, deeply ingrained in human DNA. Without stories, silence feels too vast, too empty. Tonight you feel gratitude for this voice, gratitude for this rhythm, gratitude for the words that gently carried you over the threshold. Academic debate rages. Do these tales spring from collective memory or individual creation? Some believe they are woven collectively, each elder contributing fragments. Stories like braided ropes gradually thickening. Others insist they are often told by a single elder, guardian of linguistic memory. You've imagined both scenarios coexisting, but tonight only one steady, soothing voice prevails, guiding all into slumber. Your body sinks. Consciousness slips into imagery. Stags, packs of wolves, glistening snow, no longer separate from you. They become the shapers of dreams. Story and dream merge seamlessly. You wonder silently, could this be the Elder's design planting seeds within people's hearts? So sleep may carry on its mission, teaching myths, memories, all passed down through generations via dreams born from the campfire. The final words fade. The Elder sighs softly. Breathing grows steady, finally merging with the sleeping crowd. The cave returns to stillness, yet not dead silence. The story's resonance lingers. A faint glow flickers in the listeners' minds, merging with the rhythm of breath, the dance of embers. Sleep now belongs to all. You close your eyes completely. Stag antlers stretch across the dream's vaulted ceiling. The cave grants you warmth, sustenance, breath. Now it bestows words. Together they lift you, guiding you deeper still. The Elder's voice fades, yet echoes linger in the cave's stillness. Now as your body sinks deeper, consciousness drifts toward the fragile realm of dreams. Images arrive and beasts swaying on the rock walls come alive. Endless snowfields stretch out. Predators with gleaming eyes circle just beyond reach. Though you have fallen asleep, you have not fully surrendered, hovering at the threshold between wakefulness and dream. This is the state in which cave life often drifts. Anthropologists, studying traditional societies note, dreams are not private matters, but shared resources. It is widely believed that prehistoric humans regarded dreams as messages, omens recounted around the dawn fire. The bison dream may be a sign, and guide or solace. Sleep is not merely rest, but a dialogue with the other world. Now you feel this weight. Every image in your mind holds profound meaning, as if the night itself seeks to enlighten you. By song galloped through your dream, hooves stamping on moonlit, glistening snow. It does not frighten you. Instead it guides you forward, invites you to follow. You sense that if you share this vision tomorrow, others will nod in understanding the bison's trail demands pursuit. Dreams become survival strategies, whispering the necessities of life under the guise of fantasy. Curious details discovered in certain caves, bone flutes, shells, and other artifacts unearthed near dwelling layers. Researchers speculate they served ritual purposes, perhaps inducing specific dreams. The sounds and rhythms before sleep, they guide the mind into illusions. Tonight you're only the constant chorus of breath, yet this rhythm too shapes dreams, drawing you deeper into realms of beasts and flames. Scholars still debate whether dreams are personal or collective. Some believe they belong to the dreamer, unique and private. Others argue dreams possess a communal nature, requiring to be voiced aloud, analyzed, and shared. In many indigenous traditions that endure today, dreams not only guide individuals, but lead entire communities. You imagine hunters gathered tomorrow morning, listening as you recount your bison dream. Together they interpret its meaning. The dream shifts in this moment. The owls who'd heard earlier seeps quietly into the scene. Now you soar with outstretched wings, feathers silent, gliding through the shadowy pine forest. Cold air brushes against feathers not your own, yet strangely familiar. Such transformations are commonplace in dreams. For your ancestors, this was no illusion. Dreaming of becoming an owl or a wolf might be interpreted as contact with animal spirits. Sleep was once a Nike initiation right into otherworldly existence. This peculiar, yet captivating anecdote merits reflection. In certain later traditions, shamans claimed their power stemmed from dreams, animals imparting songs, cures, or hunting skills in slumber. Though we cannot know if Paleolithic dreamers held similar roles, the possibility remains. Perhaps a sleeper's vision guided entire tribes, making them conduits between worlds. Seen this way, sleep was no passive state, but a vibrant sacred rite, a nocturnal voyage undertaken on behalf of the people. The crackling of the bonfire jolts you awake for a moment, then you sink back into the dream. The scent of pine resin drifts through the dreamscape, You see smoke swirling and coalescing into silent, gesturing human forms. Ancestors, or spirits, reason cannot decide, but a dual tremor of fear and comfort wells up within. Dreams blur boundaries, bringing the departed back, ushering in the future, making the impossible real. Scholars still debate are such dreams induced by herbs, chants, or deliberately rolled smoke, or born from the natural interplay of exhaustion and environment. Tonight your dream seems natural, yet it is elevated by resin, smoke, and stories. This is no ordinary rest, but a deeper vortex, pulling you toward depths beyond the reach of waking thought. You shift slightly, unconsciously murmuring. Others may do the same. Whispers of dreams echo through the cave. Fragments of words, sighs tinged with half-minor smiles. Even in slumber, communication persists. Perhaps this twin myth when one unconsciously recites dream fragments, and others recall them upon waking confirms the veil between dreams and narrative is thin as gauze. Sleep cycle research reveals a peculiar finding: REM sleep often erupts in bursts, accompanied by vivid imagery, in darkness free from human interference. These cycles persist longer, cultivating intricate dreamscapes. Your ancestors may have possessed longer dream hours than modern humans. Imagine their rich inner worlds, each dawn brought into the campfire circle. Dreams were not escape, but another form of existence. Now your dreams grow ever more bizarre. A deer from the cave painting slowly descends the wall, its antlers glistening in the firelight, eyes sparkling with radiance. It turns toward you, speaking in a language you do not know, a rhythm woven from breath and sound. Though not fully understood, you sense guidance and transformation. This is what your ancestors called wisdom, even prophecy. Dreams need not be clear to be real. Half-minus awake, half-minus asleep you stir, sinking back into slumber. You carry the deer's shadow into your dreams. The cave is both cradle and theater. The rock walls are both slate and canvas. The night is both silence and symphony. You sense your companions' deep sleep. Their dreams intertwine with yours in formless ways. Visual threads weave a collective tapestry. Perhaps tomorrow's tales will overlap, proving dreams never exist in isolation. You sigh softly, burrowing deeper beneath the hides, surrendering to the illusion. The cave guards you. The campfire warms you. Your kin breathe with you. Dreams carry you to realms where beasts speak and ancestors roam. Here, sleep is not mere unconsciousness. This is an ancient dialogue, and you are honored to participate. Dreams linger persistently, yet you gradually awaken, floating in the silent gap between sleep and wakefulness, neither fully asleep nor completely awake. The cave is still and silent. Only the embers emit a faint hiss, most lie oceanless. But here and there, someone shifts. In that half-minus awake state, they scratch, toss, and murmur. It is the dead of night, the hour when sleep relaxes and reshapes. Sleep historians note a remarkable pattern called segmented sleep. In eras without artificial light, many tribes naturally divided the night into two phases, with a waking interval in between. During this gap, people tended the fire, whispered conversations, or sat in quiet contemplation. Some scholars believe our prehistoric ancestors followed this rhythm too. Tonight, you feel an impulse not to resist wakefulness, but to embrace it as part of the night's cadence. You gently roll over. The leather mattress rustles softly. Your neighbor stirs, eyes half-minus open, exchanging a drowsy smile with yours, then turns away. No words needed. This moment confirms our shared presence. Even in this brief pause, you are not alone. Darkness is not isolation, but an invitation, a small connection. An intriguing discovery in later ethnographic records: people often used these intervals to build intimacy, not necessarily physical, but always emotional. Lovers whisper, parents soothe their children, friends share trivial worries. Imagine the scene in this cave: whispers here, soft laughter there, smoke carries hushed voices, dreams just shared, worries just soothed. All flow before the second sleep descends. Scholars debate whether such midnight awakenings are universal, or if it varies by climate and culture. Some argue it's especially common during winter when tending the hearth. Others insist it's a universal manifestation of human biology. You cannot determine which view is closer to the truth, but your body's memory tells you this wake of signals feels natural. Without a hint of intrusion, you sit up slightly, gazing at the embers. The firelight flickers like silent stars, casting hazy shadows upon the walls. The figure by the hearth shifts slightly, adding a branch to the fire, kindling sparks into flames. The orange tongues of flame grow stronger. Shadows dance. Then, once more, all returns to stillness. Such simple tending holds profound meaning. Maintaining the flame during this interval is safeguarding the collective's second sleep. A peculiar, yet significant detail experiments in total darkness reveal. People often awaken after 4 hours, experience an hour of calm wakefulness, then return to dreams. They describe this time as tranquil, contemplative, sometimes even creative. Perhaps your ancestors to use this time to think, to dream awake, to plan hunts, or to pass secrets. Night is not a single block of color, but an interwoven pattern. Sleep. Wakefulness. Sleep. You lean against the cave wall, cold seeping into your spine, while residual warmth lingers on your chest. This contrast sharpens the senses. You hear the faint crackle of wood, the muffled thud of someone turning over, the distant drip of water in a far corner. The silence between is not hollow, but rich, layered, and alive. Nearby, a child whimpers in half-minor sleep. A mother's soft murmur draws him close. This sound, gentle as music, makes you realize it is these in minus between moments that forge bonds. The duty of nurturing is not always carried out in daylight. Nights have their own rituals, soothing, comforting, whispering promises. Monsters shall never cross the campfire. These vows are as deadly as spears. The campfire fades. Smoke swirls lazily. You lie down once more. Yet your thoughts refuse to sink into sleep. Thoughts drift. Perhaps ancient folk to let imagination roam at this hour. Some scholars believe it is these interludes that breed contemplation, even spirituality. When darkness and embers devour all, the soul transcends daylight's bounds. The seeds of religion, myth, and philosophy may lie buried in these hazy pauses. Strange marks left deep within the cave. Miniature carvings, undetched bone fragments, are often found beside hearths, as if someone carved patterns while companions slept deeply. Were these born in midnight creations during restful pauses? You imagine elders, as others drift back to sleep. In the stillness, hands trembling lightly, thoughts drifting like smoke, carving spiral patterns into bone fragments. You turn over, your body sinking into deeper curls, finally embracing the second phase of rest. Whispers around you gradually fade, until only breaths remain. Gaps close. Night's curtain gathers its folds once more. Eyelids grow heavy. You slip back into the flood of sleep, trusting this rhythm will carry you to dawn. The cave resonates with you. Stone and flesh, though separate, now move in unison. Sleep here becomes one, seamlessly woven from firelight, whispers, and silence. The second slumbered deeper than the first. Dreams swell once more, now more eerily vivid, as if consciousness, briefly warmed and soothed by wakefulness, plunges deeper into its own river. But before dreams truly swallow you, another sound takes hold at your ear, the rhythm of snores. They surge like waves through the cavern. A low guttural sound rises from the opposite side of the hearth, followed by a high minor-pitched whistle. Instantly the cave fills with an overlapping chorus of nasal sounds. Though imperfect and intermittent, it is strangely reassuring. This sound signals that all are now asleep. Vigilance may rest for a moment. Archaeological evidence never preserves soundscapes. Modern studies of collective sleep offer clues. It's widely believed that prehistoric cave nights were inherently noisy snores, coughs, shifting furs, murmurs of dreams. Silence was rare. For us, accustomed to solitude, such sounds might seem bothersome. But for your ancestors, it was part of life's lullaby. Tonight, you to understand How snores weave into rhythm, becoming the soundtrack to dreams. Anthropology holds a fascinating discovery in certain small scale societies. Snoring isn't a nuisance, but a reassuring signal. It signifies health, confirms steady breathing, affirms the presence of life. Imagine parents listening to their child snores and sigh with relief upon hearing it, or a partner drifting into peaceful sleep beside heavy breathing, for that sound signifies the steadfast presence of a beloved body. Tonight, the elders' throat resonates slow as drum beats, steady and grounded. Scholars still debate whether prehistoric humans attempted to eliminate these sounds, or fully embraced them. Some believe posture adjustments or herbal fumigation can ease breathing. Others insist there is no alternative, noise must be endured, even embraced. You lean toward the latter. In this cave, where many bodies lie close together, complaints never last long. Survival demands tolerance. You shift slightly. The leather bedding rustles. You notice snores weaving a peculiar rhythm. One long moan, two short gasps. Another holds breath momentarily, then exhales a flute-like sigh. These breaths intertwine into an unintentional symphony. The campfire occasionally crackles, joining the ensemble. Distant drips, rhythmically distinct, become percussion for the night orchestra. The cave pulses with life amidst the sounds. Yet it felt not chaotic, but coalesced into a strange beauty. What a wondrous interlude. Researchers suggest repetitive noises during sleep influence dream imagery. Perhaps ancient humans' dreams once pulsed to the rhythm of surrounding snores, the subconscious weaving sounds into stories. Imagine dreaming of drum beats, rivers, or animal cries, when in truth it was merely a loved one's breath. Tonight you may experience this possibility, the roar at your ear transforming into a dream of thunder. Academia still debates, do such noisy nights fragment sleep or forge resilience? Some argue persistent disturbance makes deep sleep elusive, while others counter that the brain adapts, blocking familiar sounds, yet instantly alerting to unfamiliar noises. This capacity remains within us to this day. Parents can sleep through traffic noise, yet awaken at a child's cry. Now you feel this adaptability growing. Snorers fade into background noise. But if danger stirs outside, your body snaps alert. You smile faintly in the dark. Even the strangest sounds become solace when shared. Whistle-like snores become a mark of companionship. A light cough reassures us the elder still watches over us. Whispered words prove dreams are alive. All sounds weave into a cocoon of sound, holding you steady in the river of night. Experimental archaeology made a strange yet astonishing discovery when volunteers lived in cave like camps. They often reported group sounds were more hypnotic than silence. These sounds made them feel belonging, felt the warmth of being guarded by others. Tonight you share this experience. Snoring is no longer a disturbance, but an anchor. You turn sideways, burying your face in fur, letting the symphony continue. Hear a low rumble, then a nasal whistle, interwoven with the crackle of the campfire. Even your own breath joins in. Whether intentional or not, all become part of the score. The cave murmurs like a living being, each sound a heartbeat. Dreams return, shaped by sound waves. You wander through the forest. Trees groan like sleepers, rivers gurgle like snores. The entire world breathes with you, far from a nuisance. The soundscape becomes a companion in dreams, proving that even in unconsciousness, you are never alone. The hearth sighs, snow crystallizes, the chorus persists. Now you surrender completely, letting snores and coughs rock you into deeper slumber. The cave is no silent refuge. It is noisy, alive, communal, and within this clamor lies the deepest solace. Snores fade into the dreamscape's background. When you awaken again, it is not sound that draws your attention, but touch. A stray foot gently presses your calf. A hand rests across your shoulder. A child curls close beside you in sleep. The cave transforms into a nest of intertwined limbs. Within it, you feel intimacy more profoundly than ever before. Archaeological reconstructions reveal that communal sleep inevitably involved physical contact. No separate beds, no private boundaries. Animal hides lay interwoven, bodies pressed tightly together. Warmth passed instinctively. Scholars widely agree this skin-to-minus skin intimacy was not merely tolerated, but essential for survival. In the harsh winter, heat loss from exposed skin could be fatal. Contact was the currency of survival. You shift slightly to sense how each body melded with its neighbor. Shoulder pressed against shoulder, knee nestled into knee, breath brushing the nape. Intimate, yet not romantic. Simply the natural state of communal living. Even without words, the message was clear: we stand together. Certain Paleolithic sites reveal intriguing traces wear and tear on hides and furs, particularly pronounced at the edges, likely caused by people tugging and shifting them all night long. This suggests coverings were not personal possessions, but collectively shared, passed among many, some tightening, others loosening. Imagine that nightly fine-tuned choreography, dozens of subtle adjustments, each ripple affecting the whole group. Resting in such an environment meant entrusting part of oneself to the rhythm of others. Scholars debate whether this intimacy nurtured tranquility or tension. Some argue it forged deep bonds, nightly reinforcing trust. Others contend constant physical contact and disturbance may have heightened restlessness. Perhaps both perspectives hold truth. Tonight you sense the balance disrupted. An elbow brushes slightly harder, yet this warmth still outweighs the annoyance. You sigh softly in acceptance, knowing intimacy is never perfect, yet forever indispensable. The firelight flickers dimly, dipping faces in amber hues. You watch children nestle against their parents' chests, breathing in unison. Another pair sleeps back-to back, spines fitting like puzzle pieces. An elder stretches arms in slumber. Two grandchildren cling to his arms like tree roots. These unguarded gestures hold profound meaning. Bodies from a comfortable constellation on the cave floor. A rare finding in modern collective sleep studies. When people share body heat, core temperature remains steadier throughout the night, reducing the frequency of waking. You know this truth deep in your bones. The warmth of skin-to-skin contact is enduring and reliable. Even as the hearth fire dims, the living furnace of kinship keeps you warm. You wonder, how do dreams respond to such intimacy? Do souls intertwine as bodies do? Does shared touch shape shared visions? Some anthropologists speculate collective dreaming may once have strengthened social bonds, allowing entire clans to discuss similar dreams at dawn. This remains unverifiable, yet as you drift into sleep, you sense your dreams are not solitary, but belong to the circle formed by the limbs and warmth embracing you. A peculiar yet intriguing detail heart rhythm studies reveal that when people sleep in intimate embrace, their pulses sometimes synchronize and resonate. Imagine this scene: dozens of hearts rising and falling in the night. The cave itself transformed into a giant drum, each tremor faintly echoing through the rock. You place your hand on your companion's chest and can almost feel the beat. Their rhythm soothes your own heartbeat. Together you sink into deeper dreams, regarding whether prehistoric humans possessed a modern concept of privacy. Academic consensus remains divided. Some argue intimacy was their sole understanding, solitude unimaginable. Others insist individuals sought moments alone at cave entrances, inside chambers, or beneath separate animal hides. Tonight, in the center of the circle, you lean toward the former view. Separation feels dangerous and unfamiliar. Your intimacy is solace, privacy merely a superfluous luxury. You turn, curling deeper into the tangled crowd. One hand slips from your shoulder, another takes its place. Warmth shifts position yet never fades. Even as bodies move, the collective remains whole. You realize this is the true essence of prehistoric sleep, not individual rest, but collective surrender. Each body opens to another, weaving a safety net through touch. Dreams return, shaped by sensation. You imagine yourself becoming a giant beast, limbs connected, heartbeats resonating. moving as one entity. This sight brings not terror but solace. Here, the individual is incomplete, the multitude is wholeness. The campfire flickers, snow presses down, breaths mingle, limbs entwine. You sigh softly, letting yourself melt into this warm nest. The way of survival lies not in solitude, but in skin touching skin, warmth merging, dreams intertwining. Thus embraced by the crowd, you sleep soundly once more, limbs entwined, steady as mountains. You lie warm within. Yet another element of the cave quietly enters your consciousness: water. A dripping sound echoes from the cracks above. Drops fall into shallow pits on the ground. Drip, drip, drip. At first, the sound is faint, almost imperceptible, but as your ears grow accustomed, the dripping becomes an eternal nocturne. Cave archaeologists often note, it is these drips that, over centuries, deposit minerals, giving birth to stalactites and stalagmites. It is widely believed prehistoric families listened to this sound each night, the Earth's own background metronome. For you, lying here now, this sound is both soothing and persistent, a reminder that time flows on in slumber. You notice how the dripping alters the atmosphere. The air grows dank and sticky, carrying a faint mineral saltness. The inhaled air is cool and metallic minus sharp. Some scholars suggest this humidity may irritate the lungs, especially in smoke-filled caves. Others believe it keeps the respiratory tract moist, alleviating breathing difficulties during dry winters. At this moment, you grasp to truth simultaneously: a faint heaviness in your chest, yet a relief from the smoke's encroachment. Some sites reveal a curious discovery: shallow stone basins near sleeping quarters hold not only water, but traces of herbal residues. Scholars speculate these may have served for pre-sleep rinsing, soothing, or ritual purposes. Imagine dipping your hands into cool mineral springs and curling beneath animal hides. Tonight you witness an elder leaning over a water pool, letting droplets gather, cradling the pool in his hands, sitting quietly for a moment, then lying back down. Academic debate persists: is the dripping sound a lullaby for peaceful sleep, or an irritating noise? Some believe it provides natural white noise, masking sudden sounds, aiding sleep. Others find it irritating, keeping one tossing and turning. Yet when you listen, this sound seamlessly merges into the cave symphony, intertwining with snores, crackling flames, and sighs. It ceases to be an intrusion, becoming more like a heartbeat, enduring and eternal. The dripping water also nourishes dreams. In the drowsiness, the ticking transforms into hoofbeats, footsteps, drum beats. Each droplet becomes an image, nourishing the soul with rhythm. Anthropologists studying dreams in traditional cultures note, ambient sounds often blend with visions. Tonight, your subconscious cannot resist water's allure. It leads you through the forest, onto a hunting journey, ultimately merging into the dream itself: the flowing river. Cave studies reveal another peculiar discovery: certain chambers amplify dripping sounds, transforming them into resonant echoes. Explorers describe this effect as either unsettling or intoxicating, depending entirely on one's state of mind. Imagine your ancestors choosing shelter, favoring corners where water murmurs rather than roars. The cave's solace lies not only in warmth, but in its soundscape. Tonight you are grateful for this gentle version, soft as a lullaby. You reach out to touch the dripping sound. Though distant, this gesture still brings you peace, as if connecting with the elements. Water signifies survival, drinking, cleansing, cooking. Listening to the dripping all night is solace bestowed by the earth. Perhaps this is why some scholars believe dripping water holds symbolic meaning, interpreted as the whisper of spirits or ancestors. Falling droplets become the language of stone, endlessly narrating. Firelight skims the water's surface. Each droplet glitters momentarily before its fall. In that instant, you see the cave ceiling as a starry sky. Drops become stars falling one by one. The scene is serene and sacred. You can't help but wonder, did children gazing upon this ever seem magic? If parents explained it as a gift from heaven, sleep would not plunge into nothingness, but enter a world where even water knows how to speak. Academic debate extends to whether prehistoric groups attempted to control the dripping, redirecting it with stones, deliberately collecting it, or simply letting it be. Some basins suggest human arrangement. Others are purely natural. Regardless, this sound continues night after night, passed down through generations. Lying within the cave is to curl beneath dripping time. You draw your body deeper into the bedding, letting rhythm and breath merge. Inhale, tick. Exhale, tick. This synchrony feels so natural, as if the body craves resonance with the cave. Perhaps this is how our ancestors endured harsh environments, not by resisting, but by merging, until stone, water, and flesh pulsed in unison. Dreams creep silently once more. The drip minus ox slips into slumber. You find yourself beside a vast river. Its flow slow yet unending. Each ripple echoes like the hollow of the cave. You step fearlessly into the water, allowing it to carry you, knowing the water's rhythm will guide you home. Back to the cave, the flickering of the campfire. The chorus of breaths continues. The dripping remains ever punctual. You surrender completely, letting the cave's elements lift you together. Flame, smoke, warmth, touch, flowing water. All ancient, eternal lullabies. The drip maintains its rhythm. But now another detail of the cave captures your senses, the texture of the walls themselves. In the glow of embers, you notice the rock surface, sometimes rough, sometimes smooth. Veins of mineral shimmer faintly like veins. The rock walls are not lifeless. They bear the imprints of time, calm arcs, soot stains, patterns etched by dripping water. Under your gaze, they cease to be barriers and become silent companions. Archaeologists often say, cave walls are canvases of memory, not just the paintings, but the etchings, carvings, and soot marks that preserve the presence of generations of humans and animals. It is widely believed that ancient families must have slept beneath these marks night after night, until their eyes grew accustomed to the shapes, and they became as familiar as kin. Tonight, you will share this experience. The walls are not blank, but living carriers of stories, some marks deliberately carved, others purely accidental. You run your fingers over the rock beside the bed. It feels cool and slightly damp. Mineral dust gives it a rough texture. This sensation grounds you in reality, reminding you this place existed long before your arrival. Some scholars speculate that ancient people might have chosen their dwellings based on the walls, feel preferring smooth, recessed spots for comfort, or selecting alcoves symbolizing shelter. You almost see parents guiding children to lean against polished curves, soothed by the stone's warmth. Some caves hold wondrous discoveries, claw marks left by bears or large cats before humans arrived, still clear through the ages, curling beneath them night after night, must have inspired profound humility, a constant reminder that this dwelling once belonged to other beings. Perhaps families transformed these scars into legends, warnings, or talismans. Gazing at the faint, faded scratches on the walls, you can't help but wonder, do the long minus silent draws still echo within? Scholars remain divided on whether humans deliberately adorned their sleeping quarters, or treated ardent bedding as separate realms. Some argue murals existed only in deeper ceremonial chambers, while others point to pigment residue near hearths, suggesting art once permeated daily life. As you gaze upon the faint ochre traces overhead, you lean toward the latter view. How could anyone resist transforming their sleeping quarters into a gallery? The flickering firelight brings every cracked to lifelong fish bones morph into snakes coiling upward. Circular indentations become staring eyes. These illusions are no accident. The rock itself invites interpretation. Imagine children nightly identifying rock patterns, honing their imagination amid the interplay of pigment, fissures, and flame. The cave is not a passive presence. It weaves into the narrative, shaping dreams while nurturing fears. A peculiar yet striking detail in some caves, stalagmite word deliberately snapped or rearranged, as if reshaped by human hands. Perhaps they once obstructed restful sleep, or transformed into symbols guarding the borders of sleep. You can almost feel the same impulse. If sharp rocks pressed too close, You would move them aside or chip them away, reshaping the chamber to better suit human needs. You reach out your arm once more, palm pressed flat against the rock. Coolness seeps into your skin, balancing the warmth of the campfire. This wondrous, soothing sensation, as if the cave itself lends you its patience. Rock never grows impatient. It waits quietly, bearing memories far older than humanity. Leaning against the rock is borrowing this patience, allowing your body to gradually merge with its rhythm. Scholars still debate, did humans choose caves for practical reasons, dry ground, narrow entrances, or symbolic ones like resonant acoustics and unique rock patterns? Perhaps both. Tonight, as you lie beneath clom, arcs and ochre stains, enveloped by the silent warmth of stone walls, the boundary between practicality and sacredness dissolves. Here comfort and meaning are inseparable. Cave explorers have made a peculiar discovery when wind passes through. Certain caves emit a low hum. The rock walls vibrate like distant drum beats. If your ancestors heard such sounds at night, they might have regarded them as the cave's own whisper. Sleep no longer descends upon silence, but accompanies a chorus of murmurs, water droplets falling, rocks humming, campfires sighing. Now you still hear, half minus believing, a faint hum beneath the dripping, a resonance too low for words. The rock walls cradle you gently, like animal hides. They lean in to embrace you, becoming stone arms. You feel no weariness, only protection. Their eternity assures you even if storms rage and beasts lurk. These walls will never shake. They have stood for millennia, and will endure long after you are gone. Such resilience seeps into your bones, assuring you of undisturbed slumber. Dreams return silently, molded by the rock's veins. You see animals carved in crevices, ancestors sketched in ash, rivers sculpted by quartz veins. The cave is not merely a bed, but a dream making machine, delivering visions your mind alone could never conjure. Sleep becomes a collaboration woven by stone and fire, body and imagination. Eyelids grow heavy. The last perception before complete surrender is the fisherman's curved trail on the wall, like a horizon that seems like some kind of promise. After tonight, after the cold winter, there will always be a new dawn. The cave has witnessed every dawn, and will ultimately witness yours. The eternity of the rock walls sinks into your marrow. Calm your restless thoughts. But now, another companion appears silently, those beasts that once roamed outside, occasionally venturing into the cave. Even in dreams, you vaguely know you are not the cave's sole visitor. Bears, wolves, lions once dwelled here. Their shadows linger persistently, shaping every dream and every breath. Archaeological evidence confirms many caves were first homes to fierce beasts. Bear skulls, lion bones, climb arcs deep in the rock. All declare humans came later. It is well known. Families sheltering here in wintered well, not in neutral ground, but in a territory of struggle. Tonight you feel this tension. Feel the warmth of loved ones pressed close. Yet one thought lingers: other beings once slept here. You picture yourself lying beneath those ancient climb arcs, wondering if the beasts might return. Perhaps legends once soothed this fear, tales of hunters subduing lions, or supernatural lore of bears driven away. Each bonfire lit serves both practical need and symbolic declaration, proclaiming to predators the cave now belongs to humans. You see clearly that the flames not only warm the fur, but also trace the boundaries of ownership across the cave floor. The remarkable discovery at Francis Shoved Cave preserves human footprints in clay, while the claw marks of cave bears wind and crisscross the same ground. This means humans and beasts once shared the same space, separated only by time. Imagine curling up within that space, fully aware your bed lies atop the king of predators whose form dwarfs your own. Every snore, every sigh, carries the warning of lurking shadows. Academic debate persists: did humans actively drive out the beasts, or merely occupy the cave seasonally when the beasts were absent? Some believe firelight and noise forced bears to migrate. Others speculate humans waited for hibernation or migration to clear the caves. Tonight, curled beside the fire, You lean toward the latter. No family would risk sleeping beside calm arcs where blood's still fresh. Yet fear inevitably seeps into every night. You picture children huddled together, asking if the lion will return. Parents whisper answers, using the firelight as proof of safety. Yet both know the danger lingers. This cave never truly belonged to them. Sleep stems not from certainty, but from fragile trust. A peculiar yet profound detail in certain late Paleolithic sites. Exposed skulls are deliberately arranged, perhaps as trophies or talismans. Scholars debate, some see it as mastery over beasts, others as offerings to appease predators. Regardless, skulls appear near resting areas, signifying that even in slumber, animals remain central to human thought and ritual. The campfire crackles. You imagine the flames reflecting the lion's silhouette, muscles instinctively tense. Consciousness remains alert amid drowsiness, a legacy skill, cast down from your ancestors, half minus asleep, half minus awake. Both ears catch every faint sound. Modern group sleep studies reveal a similar phenomenon. Someone always wakes to the slightest noise. The group never fully loses its defenses. You suddenly realize predators not only shaped the cave's form, but also reshaped human sleep patterns. Human minus reused bear dens hold peculiar clues. Scratches on high walls reveal cubs once climbed here. Curling beneath these marks might stir uncanny empathy, knowing the enemy's young once played here, while your own child now lies curled within. This blurred fear intertwines with kinship. After all, both species ultimately seek the same thing: warmth, safety, survival. The cave becomes a mirror. Predator and human chase the same longing. Dreams echo this tension. You drift into a vision, sharing the chamber with beasts, curled beside a bear snoring thunderously, watching wolves coil in a circle at the cave entrance. Lions swish their tails beside the firelight. This scene is both terrifying and strangely tender. You sense what your ancestors might have felt in the darkness. The boundaries between species blur. Night transforms all sleepers into kin. Scholars still debate whether such visions nurtured early myths of animal minus human transformation. Perhaps the belief that shamans could become bears or lions did not stem from hunting, but from those restless nights shared in the cave. Resting where predators once dwelled was to invite their spirits into dreams. Now you feel this possibility keenly, as if a lion's eyes blink deep within your consciousness, guiding you into deeper slumber. The campfire fades, shadows lengthen. The presence of the predator grows heavier, yet you feel no panic. Instead, you accept it with the serenity of your ancestors. Sleep is not about banishing fear. It is about embracing it, weaving it into the very fabric of the night. The cave is shared: rock, water, humans, beasts. Safety lies not in domination, but in symbiosis. A final thought crosses your mind: perhaps the most peaceful sleep comes not from the absence of predators, but from the lingering memory of them. It is precisely this tautness that sharpens vigilance, strengthens bonds, and deepens the story. To dream of beasts is to remember your place in the chain of life. You close your eyes, heartbeat steady, embracing both kin's comfort and the lion's shadow. Together, they lift you up. The beast's memory fades, leaving another awareness. Light slowly returns. You stir slightly. Beneath heavy lids, see a faint halo pressing against the snow-sealed cave entrance. Dawn has not yet come, yet darkness shifts silently. Shadows rise lightly, growing thinner. The tapestry of the long night begins to wrinkle. Archaeologists studying circadian rhythms note ancient humans without artificial light measured time by the flickering of campfires and nature's dawns and dusks. It is widely believed sleepers were often awakened before sunrise, not by alarm clocks, but by shifts in air currents and tones. Now you sense this subtle signal, as if the cave itself breathes, hinting at the approaching dawn. You shift slightly, bones stiff from the long night. Others begin to stir slowly. An elder coughs softly. A child murmurs in a dream. Joints crack as someone stretches. The awakening unfolds not all at once. but like ripples spreading outward, one body gently nudging another, stirring mutual consciousness. Even waking becomes a collective act. An intriguing detail emerged during the cave excavation. Ash layers reveal that in the dim hours before dawn, people would often rekindle the embers. Seeking warmth and light, they would awaken the campfire. Tonight, or rather, this morning, you witnessed the same. A doll tries, hair disheveled, stirring the embers with a stick, adding dry branches until sparks flew. So on the orange glow swelled again, painting the dawn's first warmth upon their face. Scholars still debate were cave mornings hurried and bustling, or unhurried. Some believe hunters rose early, eager to seize daylight hours. Others maintain winter dawns were languid, people conserving strength before true light arrived. You suspect the latter truth. No one jolted upright. Bodies stretched slowly. Yawns echoed in succession. Time itself seemed to slow. Snow at the cave entrance now glows faintly gold. Firelight collides with dawn's first light, transforming this barrier into a luminous wall. Children gaze at it in wonder, whispering as if spirits lurk behind it. You smile, realizing that for them, every morning is a miracle. Night has not imprisoned them. The world still turns. Light will return. A peculiar, yet thought-provoking detail certain ethnographic accounts mention. Morning rituals involving sharing dreams immediately upon waking. You almost see the scene here: adults whispering visions of buffalo or herds of deer, speculating together on the dream's meanings. Perhaps hunting plans were made or postponed based on these morning exchanges. In this cave, sleep and wake signals are not separate realms, but threads tightly interwoven. You struggle to sit up, drape the animal hide over your shoulders. The air is crisp. Your exhaled breath condenses once more into white mist. Smoke curls lazily, swirls and rises. The dripping sound persists, flowing as always. Some rhythms never cease. Snores dissolve into murmurs. Choruses transform into morning clamor. Scholars speculate in such communal surroundings. Does awakening nurture patience or breed irritation? Some believe it strengthens bonds, each dawn a testament to shared endurance. Others suspect restless moods. Elbows bump, snores met with silent curses. In the cave, you witness both ends: children's laughter as they tumble from blankets, the groans of elders rubbing aching knees. Human nature is never neat, even in moments of survival. This was rare among later hunter-gatherer groups. Dawn often brought simple rituals: combing hair with fingertips, washing one's face with cold water, stretching limbs. Perhaps your ancestors did the same. You imagine them bending to scoop water, splashing it upon their faces, wiping soot from their skin, even amidst hardship, preparing for a new day with dignity. The cave gradually brightens. Shadows receded. Mural paintings of bison, horses, and deer reappeared in clearer light, their outlines steadied after a night of swaying. Gazing at these paintings, you suddenly realize they belong to the ritual of awakening. They not only rouse dreams, but signaled tasks awaiting beyond the door. Those animals are no phantoms, but real. Their herds still roam beyond the snow line. A peculiar detail in some well-preserved hearth remains. Bone fragments and grease linger in the morning embers, suggesting a shared dawn meal. Now you imagine that group reaching for last night's leftovers, chewing slowly, gathering strength for the new day. The lingering scent of smoke and charred ash. Yet the famished people welcomed it gladly. Academic circles remain divided. Whether winter dawns carry hope or dread, some see them as symbols of rebirth, proof of enduring another bitter night. Others insist they bear a weight, foreshadowing the hardships ahead. In the cave, you feel both emotions simultaneously, resignation and helplessness intertwined. Sleep ends. Resilience begins anew. Children always awaken first, never content to linger in slumber. They scurry toward the luminous snow wall, pressing tiny hands against the ice, laughing and playing in the chill. This joy is contagious proof that even in the harshest winter, life retains the right to play. Adults move more slowly, their eyelids still heavy, bodies aching yet ready. Night's rhythm finally yields to day's cadence. You draw a deep breath, feeling the cave air stir as your body awakens. As the half fire reignites, dawn asserts its sovereignty. Sleep once carried you. Dreams once guided you. Now wakefulness summons your presence. You stretch your limbs, bones creaking, yet your heart remains steady. The cave has sheltered you through another night. Gratitude for the morning light must follow. Your gaze lingers on that faint glow, piercing the edge of the snow wall. Soon someone will sweep away the snow. The outside world will reappear cold, vast, merciless yet real. But now you are intoxicated by this transitional moment, night not yet spent. Day has not yet arrived. This is a pause, a breath, a mark of continuity. You close your eyes once more for a moment, leaning against the animal hide. You listen to laughter, coughs, the crackle of the campfire, and the sound of dripping water. Even in wakefulness, the lullaby continues. The cave remains alive, carrying you from one cycle to the next. The faint dawn light grows stronger, persistently tapping at the sealed entrance. The snowdrifts that once shielded you from frost now glow like a wall of lamps. A pale golden light seeps through the cracks. One or two adults approach the snow wall, chipping away at it with antler tools and wooden sticks, clearing a path to the awakening world. The dull silence that enveloped you all night begins to crackle, quietly transforming. Archaeologist studying seasonal camps note. Such clearing of snow or brush often marks the true dawn of daylight. It is widely believed. Clan members gradually reopen the cave, letting air, light, and the scent of the outside world surge in. You witness this very moment. Snow piles collapse inward. Bitter wind howls through the chamber. The abrupt shift after prolonged warmth is chilling, yet invigorating. You wrap yourself tightly in animal hides. Your body shivers, yet your eyes suddenly brighten. The outside world is returning. Beyond the cave lie hunger, hunting, hardship, and boundless possibilities. The cave has fulfilled its duty, guarding you through yet another long night. Now its role shifts from a source of nurturing to a place of shelter, becoming the backdrop for daily toil. At certain glacial minus period sites, intriguing small details have been uncovered. Footprints encircling the entrance reveal people oft unlingered here at daybreak, slowly adjusting to daylight's glare. Imagine them cautiously stepping through snow, blinking at the vast horizon, stretching stiff muscles. You can almost feel the surge of impulse in their legs, both eager and hesitant, oscillating between safety and necessity. Scholars still debate, did prehistoric dawn evoke or dread? Some insist dawn was cause for celebration, a testament to survival. Others argue it brought anxiety, the weight of tasks pressing down. Watching the group awaken, you sense these emotions intertwined. Children laugh at snowflakes drifting inside. Adults groan at the thought of labor. Life was never simple. As someone adds resin minus rich wood, the flames leap once more, warming those who remain. The cave grows brighter. The animals on the walls come alive again. You glance at them. They appear different in daylight. No longer like spirits, more like reminders. Hunting, endurance, adaptation. Night's dreamlike guardian transforms into day's pragmatic guide. A peculiar yet striking detail: rock walls near certain cave entrances bear repeated scraping marks, suggesting rituals of deliberate farewell or greeting to the outside world. Perhaps each morning, before leaving the cave, people saluted with gestures, grateful for its shelter. You imagine touching the rock face, pressing your palm against the cool stone, silently giving thanks. The group begins moving with purpose. Folded animal hides, stirred embers, children wrapped tight. You sense the rhythm of transition, long slumber yielding to action. Yet deep within lingers a silent wonder in a world woven of storms, beasts, and hunger. Such sleep could exist at all. Caves, campfires, the bodies of loved ones, the whisper of stories and dreams, together make rest not merely possible, but profoundly deep. Academia often reminds us survival is not just about spears and hunting, but the resilience of the spirit. To sleep soundly in such an environment, even for a single night, is a declaration of victory. Your body has known this truth through the ages: pain, intimacy, clanor, warmth, fear, and solace woven into a resilient tapestry. Now you straighten your frame, joints still stiff from stone minus cold rest. Yet deep within, strength lies dormant, reborn in hours of surrender. Your ancestors knew this well. Even fragmented sleep could reignite courage to face the new day. Children rush toward the cave entrance, screaming, uncheering at the light beyond. Adults follow cautiously, scanning for wolf or bear tracks. The world awaits, merciless yet beautiful, harsh yet nourishing. The long night has prepared your journey. Every dream, every strange reflection. Modern research shows restorative sleep strengthens memory, decision minus making, and creativity. Imagine how these gifts shaped early humans. Each dream minus filled night may have ignited new ideas, new tools, new strategies, new symbols, propelling them ever forward. The progress of human civilization may not have begun on the hunting grounds, but was conceived in the sleeping cave. You glance back one last time before leaving. The embers of the campfire glow faintly. The rock walls shimmer with a cold light. Water drips with a soft plop. Charcoal marks faintly glow crimson. This is not merely a shelter. It is an archive, a sanctuary, a womb, where survival and meaning intertwine. Rest becomes a ritual of prayer. To sleep here is not only to belong to the clan, but to belong to the earth itself. As dawn breaks, the cycle finds its completion. You step toward the animal hide draped over your shoulders. Your body is reborn. Another night has passed. A new day begins. As the snow minus buried cave yields to dawn, you feel the night's arc sinking into your being. The campfire fades. The murals watch silently. The breath of kin surrounds you. Now soft light washes over the stone walls, gentle and forgiving. It is time to bid farewell to the cave's dreams, but do so gently. There is no need to hurry. Close your eyes once more. Imagine those cool, resilient walls, drawing near to your embrace. Listen to the dripping water, patient and constant as time itself. Feel the warmth of bodies beside you, each heartbeat resonating with yours. Let memories of bison and herds of deer linger in your mind, not as fear, but guardians, companions watching over your sleep. The storm outside has calmed. The air is light and soothing. You emerge slowly, wrapped in fur. Your breath in the morning chill condenses into white mist. The horizon glows faintly, heralding a new day. Yet you are in no hurry. You carry the stillness of the night, the steady rhythm of breath, the wisdom of rest. Now let your body grow heavy as stone, as if lifted by the rock itself. Let your thoughts soften like embers, turning to ash. You are safe. You are sheltered. You belong to what is older than time. The night is not your enemy. It is the greatest companion, teaching you to surrender, teaching you to trust. Breathe deeply, slowly. Draw in the warmth of fire still glowing within. Exhale the last thread of the day's tension. You are ready for sleep, ready to drift, ready to join those who once slept in the cave. They, like you now, once trusted the night completely, resting peacefully, sleeping soundly. The cave will embrace you,